Lounge, episode number whatever the fuck it is.
207, I want to say.
8?
Yes,
7?
I believe so. Let me check the thing.
Oh,
Yes, 207.
all right.
All right.
And I like how whenever this comes up, I'm just like, let me check the thing, but I never tell the viewers what the thing is, because it can be one of like 3 things.
There are many things.
Yeah, and they shall never find out which one I'm checking whenever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway,
All right. So, guess we should just get started right off, especially because I've got it. I don't know about you guys, but I got a fairly big week to talk about because I missed last podcast, so I've got 2 weeks to talk about.
I did nothing.
All right. So, Pink, you got anything coming on your channel?
Of course I do. I'll be having the Dead by Daylights and the Civilizations.
All right. Back to civilization.
Yep.
All right, then.
Yep.
You got anything coming out on your channel?
Well, not yet. Next week is that's gonna be okay. So next Friday, or this upcoming Friday, I guess. Yeah, is the 10th anniversary of my channel being like made. Not being active, just it existing overall on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I figured I would do like an update, because I've been inactive for half a year now again, and
Yeah.
that I'll still need to write a script for that, because I tried to do an off the cuff recording, but I forgot like 2/3 of the things that I wanted to talk about. So I guess I'll just have to write them down. So that will probably come out on Friday, just to commemorate that the channel has existed for freaking 10 years now, technically. And then after that, well, technically after that would be next week. Man, I'm good with time. I definitely don't have problems managing time. It's definitely not one of the reasons that I only make 2 videos every 3 years. Anyway, so yeah, I suppose that update will be coming out, if it's coming out, and that's about it.
All right. Now let's see. On my own channel, I may actually release something. It's difficult to say because my schedule has been so fucked up, as you can imagine by me missing the last Shut Your Mouth Lounge.
Right.
But I did recently drop a video on the last day of November or first day of December. I forget which. Just saying, hey, I've been missing, sorry, yada, 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 whatever. So, yeah, it's I may do something. It's difficult to say. Oh, man. All right. So, Addy, what is going up on the main channel?
Well, on Monday, we have part 12 of Persona 5. Don't get too attached, because we don't have much more Persona recorded.
Yeah.
Then, on Tuesday, we have Smite, part 10. And
All right.
Then on Wednesday, we have Fighting Games R, episode 31, I want to say.
Okay.
And on Friday, we have episode 30 of Ratchet and Clank. And that's your week.
That is a
All
week
right,
indeed.
then. All right. So, Pink, what have you done with your week?
Let's see. I watched the latest episode of Hawkeye yesterday, episode 3.
All right. I hear
Uh,
something big happens in that one, or rather, something big is revealed.
maybe just a little bit. I wouldn't say they've gone all in on anything just yet. Definitely a lot of teases though. This I'll try not to spoil it too much or anything, but this episode focuses heavily on the origin of Echo and kind of introduces her into the story and why it's all relevant to what's currently going on. So it was decent. I liked it. Echo is one of the more modern creations that I actually like, so I'm fine with that. They made her a what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. Words Family. They have her with a bionic leg in this series, and I don't think that's a thing in the comics, but I could be wrong. So that was kind of a nifty choice.
Not bringing back Clint's deafness with this TV show.
You cut off for that first part, so I only heard deafness for this TV show.
Ah, okay. Are they not bringing back Clint's deafness for this TV show?
Yes, he is deaf, or not quite deaf, but very hard of hearing.
Okay, so maybe it's a thing of like, well, maybe her and Clint will get along better because they both have disabilities.
Well, the thing is that Echo's still deaf as well. They just added her not having a right or left leg. So I guess they wanted it to be a bit more to kind of add to the character. Because I suppose they were thinking if Hawkeye's already deaf, the appeal of Echo is kind of diminished just a little bit. So we have one of her legs as well. And I don't know how I feel about that because it just feels kind of forced in. I think it would have been cool had they used the leg as kind of hint that maybe there's something extra going on with it if she's kicking a lot harder with that one. And then later on down the line have it revealed that, oh yeah, she's got a bionic leg over here. That's why she's able to kick through walls and whatnot. That would have been cool. But instead they reveal it within the first 5 minutes of the episode, if that. I would say 90 seconds really. And it's that kind of kills the hype behind it to me.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's also really strange because it's one of those cases where okay, this is an obvious villain transplant because Echo was supposed to contrast with Daredevil because Daredevil's blind and she's deaf.
Right.
Man, in comic books,
Mm-hmm.
Who made Echo?
I don't have a clue.
Is she not a Bendis creation?
She might be. I'll have to check. I have my phone somewhere around here because I heard it going off because somebody is texting me right now. But
I check.
Where the heck did I put it?
Well,
let me open up a tab. That'll be easier. Marvel Comics Echo. Oh wait, would Marvel.com tell me who created her? Let's go to the wiki.
Yeah. So, how is Haley Steinfeld in the show?
I really like her.
Okay, because that's the hardest sell. Is I always watch these TV shows with my family, but my family despises Haley Steinfeld. So
why? What is she in?
They just don't like her.
David Mack and Joe Quesada created this character back in 1999, so actually a lot earlier than I was anticipating. I thought she was 2002, but that's not too far off.
I thought she was from that Bendis run in 2010.
No. She became Ronin back in New Avengers with Bendis back in 2005, maybe?
Oh.
So
wait a second.
Go ahead.
Did they have a Ronin storyline right after they had Ronin be Clint?
That was before Clint. Clint didn't come back as Ronin until 2006 or 7.
But still, like 2 years in a row, they have Ronan come on and be revealed to be someone else.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, Ronan comes back again, and this time it's Blade. So is Ronan entirely just the I'd like a comeback, please identity?
More or less. More or less.
Okay. I'm glad the superhero community agreed on that. All right. Which, is Echo a villain or a hero?
Villain initially. I believe she started off as a hitman for the Kingpin.
And let me guess. Daredevil turns her good with his penis.
Not quite, but maybe.
All right. Anyways, yeah. Continue about the show.
Show's been good so far. I've really enjoyed the direction they've taken with it. It's not. I'm a stickler for the old school Hawkeye, so it's not a great old school Hawkeye show. But for what they're doing with what they've got, and that they're trying to interpret it as the more modern rendition, I think they're doing a fine job.
So is it still based off the Matt Fraction run?
It is based off the Matt Fraction run.
Oh, fuck.
Very heavily so.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There was some secret part of me that was hoping that, like, for no real reason, the TV show would just stop midway through the first episode, and Clint would just turn and look at the camera, and all audio would cut out except for Jeremy Renner's voice, and he would just very simply say directly to the camera that Matt Fraction is the drizzling shits. And then he returns to the action.
Yeah, I would have been on board.
They could make it in character somehow, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Entirely diegetic.
Hawkeye has been Deadpool all along.
Yeah.
He's the Hawkeye is known for breaking the fourth wall, just like Deadpool and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's just the character trait that all of the like D-list characters they have just get. They break the fourth wall. Aren't they special?
Yeah. If they all do it, then they're all special, laddie.
Yeah, true. How could I forget?
How could you forget?
All right, Pink, what else?
What else? What else? Not a lot else. The Pokemans. What's it called? What is it called? Shining Pearl. Something like that. I don't know. I actually went ahead and jumped on that because why not? It's been decades since I last played a game like this, and by decades I mean when was the last time I went to college? 5 years ago.
I mean, Pink.
So yeah, it's been a little while. What's up?
Pink, you played Fire Red 2 years ago, maybe 3.
That was not 2 years ago. That would have been 3 or 4, because that was a long ass time ago.
Then it was 3, but I know that you played Fire Red.
Yeah. An attempt was made,
yeah,
but that was back in the day where my microphone kept cutting out, so all that had to be scrapped, and it made me sad.
Yeah, you tried to do a Pokemon playthrough, and then you realized that Pokemon playthroughs don't just work. They don't happen for a reason usually.
Oh no, I could have done it. I'm very skilled in the ways of the commentary and gameplays and whatnot, but the microphone was not the one that would cooperate with me. So no, that got trashed. I should revisit it now.
Pokemon commentary can happen. It's just better to have 2 people, ideally.
Yeah.
No, I'm a one-man band. I don't need anybody.
I mean, by all means, but it's a turn-based game that can require a fair bit of strategy from time to time, so it is generally better to have someone else to cover for when you're busy thinking.
This is true, but at the same time, I don't think, so I don't need that coverage.
Damn, he's got us all beat.
I don't have to think about the buffs and debuffs if I just make my Pokemon unlearn all of the debuffs.
Right. I just smash the A button and hope for the best.
I only need one move, Rock Smash. I'm just going to use that and hope for the best.
I mean,
Train of the rock gods.
I mean, you joke, but I beat Fire Red having teach my Charizard fucking Mega Kick and Super Punch or whatever. Because fuck you, my dragon knows Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Who cares about type advantages when my dragon knows Kung Fu?
I got so many HMs, and now I have an entire team of Kung Fu Pokemon.
The greatest fighting force anyone has ever seen across any universe.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Just
Watch out, my Voltorb knows Mega Kick.
yeah. No. Geo. Your Geodude knows Mega Kick. Your Voltorb knows Mega Punch.
Even better.
Hitmonlee with Mega Punch. Why not? Sure.
Don't worry, I've evenly distributed things. Machamp now has Explode.
Machamp has Seduce.
Oh no.
I mean,
Dude, imagine.
Yeah.
That could be good material for like an old like Newgrounds animated parody of Pokemon. Have a team of 5 Voltorbs and a fucking Machamp. And all 5 Voltorbs fight honestly, then the Machamp goes for the fucking suicide dive strategy.
Yeah. Anyway, Pink, Pokemon.
Pokemans, alright. It's from what I hear, I never played the original, but from what I hear, it's more or less a 1-to-1 remake of the Diamond and Pearl.
I've played
Diamond. Diamond was also a Pokemon of my childhood.
Aha.
I didn't play any of them growing up. I just played a lot of them when I started emulating more recently. Well, more recently as in 2015, I want to say.
I was about to say, you've never brought it up.
I played all of the ones up to the DS. Like I played Black 1 and 2, or not 1 and 2. Fuck, I played Black and White 1. Like that's the latest thing that I could emulate. So that's as far as I got with that. Then I stopped emulating stuff. I also played X and Y, and that's the latest Pokemon game I've played.
Ew. That one was terrible.
I liked it. Look, I got the version with the freaking the black and blue Charizard. I was satisfied.
Understandable. Which one? I didn't really have a Pokemon childhood because I was a devil, but my personal favorite was the Gold, Crystal, Silver era. That one just has sort of my favorite. Well, it has straight up my favorite starters.
As the starters?
Pardon me?
Is that the one with Mudkip and Chikorita as the starters?
That Mudkip became later. That was Chikorita, yes, that is correct, and Totodile and Cyndaquil.
Or Smeagol? Or who?
Cyndaquil.
Or Cyndaquil. Man, all of these starters are the same. They just blend
You
together.
shut your face. Cyndaquil's the best.
I like I like 2/3 of that trio. Pink. Totodile is the only one, but I'm like, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
He's number 1, baby.
Yeah. As an unpopular opinion, Chikorita is actually my favorite starter from that gen.
Eh?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what it is about the bean, but it's just too cute.
I do like the design and how simple and bean-like it is. You've got a point there. But no, Totodile is my boy, and I love Cyndaquil as well. Chikorita is the only one where I kind of put it on par with the Generation 1 starter of... I could go either which way on that one.
Yeah, I think the reason I dislike Totodile is because I think his evolution sucked. Like, Totodile's design is fine. Like, Totodile as a Pokemon alone is good. I just don't like Totodile's evolutions.
You're not wrong. I'm not a big fan of his second Feral Gator evolution. I struggle to actually remember what his final form is called and what it looks like. I'm gonna Google that as well.
But then at the same time, all of the starters of the generation just evolved kind of bad. Because like Cyndaquil is kind of boring because it's just a bigger Cyndaquil. And then Chikorita gets a poncho, I think, maybe. And that's it.
She gets like a little leaf popping out of her head.
Yeah.
And then And then she gets a like poncho, which is kind of rad. Don't give me information, give me images. Thank you.
Yeah. But you expect me to read?
Yeah, I
they are
think
making him read.
they are.
They are.
But yeah, I'm looking over these images now, and I think I like both the Totodile and the Croconaw second evolution there. The fair alligator one isn't great, but it's all right. It's all right. He looks kind of like he's on drugs or something, but it's all right.
How do you think he got so strong?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I hadn't
don't know.
considered.
I feel like Fair Alligator looks just too goofy. Like Totodile and Croconaw makes sense. Fair Alligator is Fair Alligator is a fucking crackhead.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with the design there is all the little spikes shooting out of him that look dumb.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll post the picture for W so he can see the entire line. Hopefully this works.
I'll tell you guys.
There you go.
I'll tell you guys what. I would not fuck with an alligator that's on crack.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I actually don't mind the for alligator design. They all look fine to me.
Well,
I think the middle one looks, but I think the middle one looks bizarrely like Fred Flintstone. But other than that,
I was thinking the same thing as I was looking at the picture, and that's probably why I like it.
Well, it's weird for the middle one to look like Fred Flintstone, but the other two don't have like a caveman theme going on at all.
Right. I mean, between the three of them, the Croconaw in the middle there, he really stands out as the one who's not supposed to be there. Awkward preteen, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how Cyndaquil's evolutionary line is. Cyndaquil opens its mouth or its eyes rather, and that's it.
I did always think that was cute. Yeah. And I forget who was the third one in that starter set. Turtwig.
Chikorita.
Chikorita. Yes. And that was the second generation, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And Diamond was third generation?
I believe so. I forget. Was it Diamond? No, it was Gold. That was the one with the big water focus, right?
That would have been Ruby and Sapphire. I actually don't remember.
I feel like it was Gold and Silver because I remember.
Gold and Silver was the second generation, the one we're talking about right now.
I know, but I'm forgetting it was Gen 2 or Gen 3 that had like the big water focus on the map. I feel like it was 2.
I'm just going to Google up Gen 3. That's a lot of information on the side. Give me the game. I don't need to listen to all the Generation 3 Pokemon.
I'm just looking.
Do you know how many there could be?
Gen 3. I believe it is Gen 3, the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, the one with the big water focus.
Well, nobody likes water. Water will kill you if you drink too much of it.
Hoenn has a big, like, half of Hoenn's map is a bit water. Like it was a bit too wet for my liking.
Why couldn't it have been a soda focused map? You can't die from drinking too much soda.
You know, now that you mention that, I don't think I've ever heard of any of that happening to anybody, so you might have a point there.
This was actually really irresponsible, Nintendo. Like, the kids might take the wrong lesson from this and drink too much water and die.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Wouldn't be the first time to drink too much water and die.
I'm already making my sign for the protest.
Yeah.
Whose big water is playing you? Water is 50%.
Okay, from this little blurb here that I stumbled across. Go ahead.
I did.
It wasn't.
It's the remaining 50% that gives it the power, Addy.
Oh.
The healing power.
Yeah, soda is 50% water and 50% healing powder.
No, you're focusing on the wrong part there. It's the healing powder. Come on.
So yeah, Pink, what were you going to say?
I don't remember. I had just found out what game title was Gen 3. It was Ruby, Sapphire, and also Emerald, which is the
Okay.
combination of the two.
Oh, then Diamond and Pearl was Gen 4?
Yes,
guess-
it was.
Man, I don't like it. I
Yeah,
don't like the freaking Gen 3 starters, any of them. Huh. Nice. Torchic's okay, I guess. Anyway,
I
yeah.
like the Mudkip's starter.
A Mudkip's awesome, yeah. It's a platypus, and it kills you.
Eh.
It's a newt. Show me the starters, stupid Google search. There we go. Okay. The third image in my search bar had a blue version of the Trico, and I was like, "What the heck? I don't remember that." But then, as I looked along the image, it was just all the starters, but with the elements flipped around. So that's fan art right there. I was not having a psychedelic meltdown.
I like this side. It's evolutionally line that I found for the Gen 7 starters. I'm gonna remove it because it has Kill in it, but
I don't know. I think that's pretty good material for keeping.
will that work? I like
Picture's
how,
still loading.
yeah, that it may not load. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I like how the one that evolves into the grappler cat. I forget its name. The one that's in Smash.
Yeah, it didn't load.
Yeah, I'm clipping it, and freaking doing all of this shit so you can actually see it.
Bless your
Putting it
soul.
into GIMP, exporting it, uploading it. If only GIMP launched faster.
No, I can just clip it with Firefox.
Technically, I could just clip it with Microsoft Paint. Come to think of it as well, and that one loads pretty quickly.
There you go.
Oh, I see.
Blathers.
Yeah, and I like how Hoot evolves into bladders, and I also like how the fucking like I like how the one that becomes the one that got added to Smash. It evolves into Shadow the Hedgehog, and then unfurries itself and becomes one of the main characters from Kill la Kill.
I see. I like how the seal basically doesn't change.
It just
Yeah.
it changes eras. It goes from it goes from like 2010s anime to 60s Western animation to garbage.
Garbage, yeah.
I don't actually know what that third seal is from.
What the? Yeah, I was about to ask, what the heck even is that thing? Horrifying to look at.
I think it's from one of the Madagascar movies.
Oh, then it's from the third one. So yes, I was right. It is garbage. Good.
There are no seals in Madagascar.
They were in the third one because they were in a circus.
Yeah, they go back
There's
to
a
America.
circus
In
in
the third one.
Madagascar?
What, Pink?
No, I think they go back to America in the third one, and there's a lion voiced by Bryan Cranston.
Oh. Why?
Because Bryan Cranston had just finished doing Breaking Bad, and he was considered the hot thing in Hollywood at the time.
Understandable, I suppose.
Like around that same time, they also did Kung Fu Panda 3, where Bryan Cranston also voices the main character's dad in that one, I think. Because I'm pretty sure.
I like to think multiple studios just got him in a single booth to read lines. And then they just made their movies based around those lines.
Yeah, they made several movies off the same recording session. Get their money's worth, you know. I always remember that Bryan Cranston, before he was ever really famous, in the mid-90s, he was one of the voices in Street Fighter II, the animated movie, the movie that was very famous for its high-quality fight scenes and also its high-quality Chun-Li shower scene. And
I've never heard of this.
Also very famous for its surprisingly high-quality grunge soundtrack featuring Alice in Chains and shit. And at some point in the movie, Pink is looking for this right now. At some
Back to
point,
Google I go.
At some point in the movie, Fei Long shows up, and he's voiced by Bryan fucking Cranston, and it's just so bizarre. Why is this minor? Who gives a shit? Even franchise fans don't give a shit character being voiced by iconic Hollywood actor, celebrity, one of the best actors of the last fucking 20 years.
Are we talking about like the old Alpha movie?
The movie that Alpha was based off of. The movie that
Yeah.
people that they actually watched were like, holy shit, we need to make this into a fucking video game. The one with the famous, what is it? The famous fight between Ken and E Honda or something?
I don't know because I've never seen the movie. I actually like I have a DVD of the Alpha series right next to me, but I have never seen the Alpha movie. So
Oh, I don't. No, it's not Alpha Street Fighter Alpha the movie. It's Street Fighter 2 the movie. The animated movie. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Got to get it right.
It
but it is in Alpha because it is in Alpha because when you're on the stage in Alpha 1 where you're fighting like on a regular ass street in front of a 7-Eleven, there's a poster for the movie in the 7-Eleven window. I can't say I've ever heard of a Street Fighter Alpha series, though. I still think you made that up just to fuck with me.
I have it right next to me. Street Fighter Alpha. Number 1. I can take a picture with my phone. I could look it up. I could look it up, but I can't.
Not only do you have Street Fighter Alpha there, you also have several cryptids. and also Action Comics number 1.
Which one's Action Comics number 1?
The one where Superman suplexes a car and everybody loses their shit.
No, I don't have that one. No. I do, however, have freaking a shit ton of Inuyasha DVDs from back when I really liked Inuyasha.
Man, nobody mentions that Action Comics number 1 was also the debut of John Zatara.
All right, let me see if I can take a nice picture of this. So you see
Zatanna's dad who got his mind blown up in a Swamp Thing comic.
All right, is this frame nice?
The number one, the thing that has probably done the most work for John Zatara ever has been probably that Young Justice series acknowledging that he existed before Zatanna.
Yeah.
Otherwise, fuck it, just ignore him. There's Zatanna, and there has been nobody else ever.
It's very accurate.
Oh yeah, I can take a fucking picture to save my life. I mean, I have one with all of the recording set up, so you all see that I'm not lying when I'm trying to take a closer picture, so you can actually take a look at the cover.
Was Zatanna basically like the first example of not only a sidekick replacing the original, but also like the sidekick replacing the original being a minority of some variety?
Without looking into it, I will hesitate to say yes, probably.
Come to think of it, was Zatanna really important in any comics up until like 85 or 86 when Alan Moore started using her for a little bit? Because like she definitely wasn't involved with Batman yet, because that was Bruce Denny's whole thing. Or was it Bruce Timm or Paul Dini that had the obsession with Zatanna?
Paul Dini.
Paul Dini, right. And Bruce Timm had the obsession with Barbara.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, one's a little creepier than the other.
Alright, now if Discord on my phone would be working with me instead of against me, I would have sent a picture. Give me 1 second.
They got to get the conspiracy rolling.
Yeah. Okay. Any year now. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the cover. As you can see.
Street Fighter Alpha.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha. I don't know what fucking series this is, but this is how it was sold to me.
Is this one of those like specific bootleg things? Because that does look remarkably similar to the art style of Street Fighter 2, the movie.
I don't know. I bought it from Tesco, so in theory it should be official.
It's a regional thing.
In theory.
Yeah, it could be a regional thing.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, for one thing. Let me just pull up. Here we go. Here's the poster from the movie here in the States. But let's see. Does Wikipedia have a part where it'll say like the different names? Okay, yeah, it's only known as Street Fighter 2, the anime movie here in the States, and Street Fighter 2 movie in Japan and Australia.
I'm looking up the series to see if it. Yes, not the video games, the actual like animated series.
Here's what you've got. There's two Street Fighter anime is based off Alpha. There's Alpha the animation and Alpha Generations.
How many generations though?
Many.
Oh man.
Probably one.
Okay, that's an OVA film. So it's not the animation; it's the other one.
It's a what film?
OVA. It's an anime movie.
Oh.
But wait, what?
It doesn't look like either of them are series.
Then is this a fucking OVA? Why is it titled number 1? Give me 1 sec.
Because Generations came afterwards.
Where is the length?
Let's see. Thank you.
It does not say the length. I can't even fact check to see if it's the OVA. It may be. Huh. Yeah, we don't like. There's all of these blurbs about like freaking just like, you know, don't fucking bootleg this DVD and shit. There's not one mention of the runtime.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know. I suppose it's the OVA.
All right.
So anyway, now that we went down that rabbit hole, I just wanted to point out, to return to Pokemon, that I found a wheel of all of the fire starters representing the different freaking like Chinese calendar animals, and they've had like
Right.
Fennekin's a dog. Fennec, yes, a dog. I mean, technically foxes are canine, but like,
yeah,
you know, it's not quite a dog.
They exist in the space between dog and cat.
Yeah. So anyway, Pink.
Anyway, yes.
Shine on your crazy diamond.
I never played the original of whatever this has been remade of, so everything I'm playing, but it is a Pokemon game. The formula has not really changed in the past 25 years since Red and Blue. It's all very simple. There are some mechanics that they've added over time.
Pink, you're wrong. The formula has changed. They removed gambling.
Why did I buy this game? I wasn't unaware of that. I need to get a refund.
They stopped putting gambling into the Pokemon games after, I want to say, the original releases of these actually, and then once they like by the time of Hard Gold and Soul Silver, they've definitely removed the gambling from those games because they originally had them.
Oh.
And I believe even Fire Red and Leaf Green may have already like not had gambling, but I'm not sure about that one.
That's a good question. I feel like they did, but I don't remember. I'll have to look into that. Where's my gaming system, Nintendo? I need it. I need it for my crippling addictions.
His addiction is getting so crippling that he's losing internet.
Yeah. He's gambling the internet away.
Yeah, I've got left.
Then stop gambling with it, you addict.
I can't.
He can't stop anytime. He just doesn't want to.
By the way, I looked it up. Zatanna did do some like minor shit before Infinite Crisis, or excuse me, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, she was a member of the Justice League for a little bit and was appointed leader for a little bit, which apparently did not fucking last.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
It was the late 60s. Shit happens. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And then her dad cooked up real good, so she became like the chief magic person of DC. All right. Anyways, carry on with the Pokemons.
Yes, as I was saying, everything in this game is completely brand new to me. This generation is the one where I more or less fell off. I mean, I was never on the boat to begin with, but this is where everything started making no sense to me, and I was off the hype train. Didn't really like any of the starters, didn't like anything that I saw from it. And playing the game now, it's like, yeah, the 3 starters, I feel like well, one, I don't like monkeys just as a very strong bias since childhood. Monkeys are sons of Satan or something. So I'm not a fan of that starter. The turtwig, the turtle tree thing. I like the later designs. I feel like the starter version of it is very derpy looking though, and I didn't like it. And then you've got Piplup, little penguin, and penguins are bad, so I obviously went with that one.
Yeah, Piplup is cool because it has a gun.
Right. But it really sucks to have, the game doesn't feel properly balanced in that if you pick a specific element at the start, you're more or less, it will be fine because typically you would always have at least one other Pokemon in the world to kind of pick up for that element. This game is quite contrary to that. If you don't pick this fire monkey, you're really hindering yourself because there are no good fire types for the longest time. As Billy Joel was saying, was it Billy Joel?
Maybe.
I don't remember. But yeah, I've looked into it, not deep enough to have any knowledge of what's to come, but shallow enough that I know that hey, not picking the fire type kind of screws me out of a good fire type Pokemon like for the entirety of the game. So that's not great. Not great, but I refuse to pick this stupid monkey because screw monkeys are the evil.
Yeah, just get a
And
Ponyta, even though they're probably not in the fucking game. Or if they are, they're in like the
oh no no
surprise
no
zone.
no! It's actually the only fire type that anybody has mentioned as being in the game as a substitute. It's like Ponyta and Arcanine if you have Brilliant Diamond, because I believe he's exclusive to that version. But I picked up Shining Pearl because Sand is exclusive to Shining Pearl, and that's my favorite.
You cut out.
Ahem. The Arcanine, allegedly, to my memory, is exclusive to not Diamond.
To Pearl.
Yeah, Brilliant Diamond. Pardon me. I was correct.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to help you because you're still like cutting in and out in the middle of a sentence, but
You've been doing it the whole time.
yeah.
Has arbitrarily decided to work today. Ironically, not until this podcast started.
I can't tell half of what he's fucking saying.
I can if I try. Hard. Okay, I guess Pokemon murdered him.
My God. Well, we'll have to continue on in his memory. Quickly, let's talk about how stupid and shitty Pink is.
Yeah. I mean, I was
and
going
he
to bring
smells
up
bad.
I was going to bring up a very worse discussion topic.
What for?
Well, not specifically, I guess. All right, Pink, are you alive?
Seen.
No. Kind of, but not really. Speak again, Pink.
Even. Good lord.
This is going great. This is our punishment for going off on a Pokemon tangent.
Yeah. God, or rather one of the legendary Pokemon, just
Arceus.
stepped in and stopped it. Alright.
Arceus is great because people like people didn't know how to pronounce its name for the longest time. It's just ours. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like I believe they released a thing for the Wii U that had all of the Pokemon up to that point and then all of their pronunciations, and Arceus was just Arceus.
Alright. Alright. Well, if Pink is dead over there, then I suppose, Addy, you should probably go ahead and start hitting your week, I guess?
Sounds good.
Okay. I guess we'll come back to Pokemon once Arceus is not angry anymore.
Do we have to?
Not really.
All right. I like how his internet fixed just for that sentence.
Well,
I
now
can
that he's
get
done
a
talking
word
about
or two.
Pokemon.
What the fuck? The second we're like, okay, let's move on from Pokemon. The internet is fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Quickly, stop mentioning Pokemon. Just go.
Move on. That's all I did this week.
Mulan.
Not Mulan.
Then what?
You wish you did move on. You hear me?
So Pink, Mulan didn't make a man out of you, but what did you do?
Nothing else.
All right. So anyway, what did I do? Yes. Well, I tried to draw Baiken, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Addy, they're not big enough.
Pink, it wouldn't have helped. I don't know how to draw breasts.
Complicated. Like Avril Lavigne.
What?
I don't know. I just heard
I missed out on the middle part. All I heard was they need to be bigger, and then I zone out, and then I come back to Avril Lavigne, and I gotta say, not my standard for bigger, honestly.
Pink said they need to be bigger. I said that it wouldn't have made a difference because I don't know how to draw breasts.
I don't need the story. Fuck you.
Pink said something about
Fuck you.
And then Avril Lavigne. If you say the word complicated into a mirror 3 times, Avril Lavigne shows up.
The story I made up in my head was funnier.
So yeah, I like how most of this drawing is okay, and then you get to the face and the breasts, but whatever, fuck it. Like it's how much will I be drawing like open breasts, more or less? Not much.
If you want to make some money, you'll be drawing it a lot more.
You talked over each other, so I didn't get any information. So I guess one of you repeat it, and then the other.
Quickly, let's do it at the same time again, Pink. If you want to make some money, you're going to be doing it again. Okay, there we go. Fuck you. If you want to make some money, you're going to be doing it a lot more.
That's very true. That's very true. And what even did I say? I said not if.
Not if.
You just fucking cut out.
Yeah. Just not if.
Why?
This is great.
The Discord says bonk, go to horny jail.
Yeah. Shit. I feel like I did something else, but I don't know what. No, I guess not. I don't remember.
All right. Man, I'm going to want to speed through my section, what I did this week, because I'm going to have to go to the bathroom pretty quick. All right. So, did I mention I beat God of War 4?
I don't think so.
I think I did.
Did you?
I think I did 2 weeks ago.
Maybe.
But in the meantime, okay, that killed Pink. Within the last 2 weeks, I have also platinumed God of War 4. I killed all the Odin Ravens, I killed all of Valkyrie, I did all of Niflheim and all of Muspelheim. I gotta say, it was pretty fun, except for the Niflheim shit. That Niflheim shit was terrible.
I tried to do all of those, and then the Odin birds. Just no, fuck that shit.
The Odin birds weren't so bad because the map tells you where they are. You just, whenever you go on the map screen, it tells you, like, whenever you mouse over each given location, it tells you how much you're missing of anything from that given area. And it'll tell you, like, hey, you've got 2 out of the 4 Odin birds in this area, or hey, you've got 0 of 1 unknown in this area, which, you know, there's a chance it could be a chest, but there's a chance it could be Odin bird.
Alex, I
and
have
all
minus
bird
5
must die.
perception. If the Odin bird isn't clawing my eyes out, I don't see it.
I suppose so, but either which way, yeah, I killed Burb. I killed all Burb. Mini Burb. Burb dead. Burb gone forever. I done it. I do it. Burb is destroy. Anyways, yeah, the fucking Valkyries. How about that shit? Addy, did you get all the Valkyries?
I tried, but it was during one of my great runs where I decided that I'm gonna try to play the game on a harder difficulty on New Game Plus, where the game is like, hey, even harder difficulty.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, it took me 2 days to beat the last one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say no, don't do that. That last Valkyrie is very much a, like, oh, you need everything to fucking throw at her. You need, alright, bring out your best runic attacks, be constantly having the boy shoot her, only use your strongest attacks, have your reflexes be on fucking time. In order to beat her, you need to not only be good at dodging, but also blocking, and ideally parrying. There's one move, thankfully she didn't throw it at me the last time I did it, because I was never going to fucking get the reflexes down to do it. There's one move where the counter to it is honestly to look away from her.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love having the.
And of course she's got.
I love facing the Medusa ult in GTA 3.
Not only that, she's got a instant full screen unblockable command grab that does 1/3 of your health guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah.
She can just hit you with that shit from anywhere on the screen. It's pretty nuts. And it can't be interrupted. A lot of her moves can be interrupted by boy. That can't be interrupted. Oh boy, that boss fight was something. The other Valkyrie fights were all very cool. And one thing I'll say, I hope that in God of War Ragnarok, like they mentioned during God of War 4 that Odin took away Freya's wings, right?
I think so.
Imagine if, like, Ragnarok, you're presumably going to be a bit stronger in Ragnarok. Kratos is probably going to pick up a little bit of power, and Atreus is definitely going to pick up a lot of power. Like, I fully expect Atreus will be doing the majority of the work in Ragnarok by that point. Because, I mean, Atreus is already pretty fucking strong in 4. And I really hope, if they do, rather when they do Freya, because they got to do Freya as a boss fight at some point in Ragnarok, the way God of War 4 ends. I hope that for Freya, like, either maybe, like, they just have a regular fight with Freya as you see her now, and there's a secret boss fight or something like that, or something, I don't know, where Freya gets back her wings and not only has all the Valkyrie moves, but also the crazy Vanir nature magic shit. That would be crazy. That shit would be nuts. If they make it where she's virtually impossible to beat, I'd almost kind of respect that. Because, I mean, yeah, the Valkyries alone are already fucking nuts enough to take on gods. So throw Valkyrie powers on the lady who's already the, like, strongest Vanir, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it was a fun game to play, I think. The Niflheim thing was grindy. The Muspelheim stuff, on the other hand, I think was a lot of fun.
Fuck, anyway, continue. I'll come back to it later.
Okay. So yeah, Niflheim is the one where it's like, oh, it's a maze. There's traps everywhere. Get the chest refill every time you leave the maze and come back. So it's like a really, really shitty, like, roguelike in a lot of ways, but missing a lot of what makes roguelikes fun. Like, the only roguelike traits are keep going back in. If you lose progress, if you die, the shit refreshes every time you finish. So just go and grind the same fights again and again and again.
Is that the one with the battle arena?
No.
Okay.
Muspelheim is the one where it's the various challenge arenas as you climb the volcano.
Yeah.
And that one is actually really cool because, like, some of the challenges are just like, whatever, like, oh, kill X amount of enemies in so much time, which is like, oh, so just play the game like I would anyways.
I didn't like it, but then once again, like, I did all of this side content on one of the things where I was like, hey, I'll just beat the game on one of the harder difficulties on New Game Plus, which makes it harder.
Yeah.
So, like, my opinion of them is tainted.
Yeah, I would have personally held off on that. Like, I could probably beat God of War 4 on the harder difficulties because I do think, like, God of War 4 is one of those. Thank God it doesn't have the enemies leveling alongside you. At the same time, that does mean that if you do side content as much as I do, which I imagine you had a very different experience, but if you do side content as much as I do, like, Baldur gets steadily more and more of a joke, you know?
Yeah.
Either which way, yeah. Muspelheim, I thought, had a lot of fun challenges. Some of them were kind of annoying, but some of them were pretty fun and asked you to play the game differently from when you ordinarily would, which I think is a nice thing for game challenges to do, rather than just being, do what you ordinarily do. Kill 50 dudes. Like, okay, great. Let me just do the same shit again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, there we go. That is God of War 4. I platinumed it. I'd be excited for God of War Ragnarok. Give me it. I will consume. Either which way. All right. What else did I do this week? Let's see. Just sticking to the PlayStation, I guess, for a little bit. Been putting more time into 2K16. Yeah, that's. Well, I asked for 2K19 for Christmas, and I hope I get it.
Yep.
It's not a terrible wrestling game by any means. It was leaps and bounds ahead of 2K15, which is what we needed at the time.
Right.
But I mean, from 16 to 19 was more or less a streak of each of the games actually genuinely improving on the last, right? Like, I wasn't there for 18. I don't know if 18 would just, like, suddenly shit the bed and then 19 recovered. Okay, I can't get Pink's help on this one. Shit. But hopefully 2K22 does not continue the long-running series trend of the first one on each platform being shit. That wouldn't be ideal. Man. Anyways, yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else to say about it other than, yeah, there are some, like, I appreciate there being some weirdo roster picks in every game, but 2K16's got some fucking weirdos in a couple places. For one thing, what's their names? I forget. They have the one that's like Ricky Morton and Bobby Gibson or whatever, like another set of losers that.
Whoever.
No, it's. Oh God, it's the Rock and Roll Express. The Rock and Roll Express, I think.
Roll Express. Yeah.
My God, like I try not to be a vain person. But the members of the Rock and Roll Express are the two ugliest motherfuckers on the whole planet. Like, seriously. Addy, do you remember what they look like?
Vaguely.
Let me pull up a picture. Because, like, it's... I try not to be vain, but it hurts to look at them. Hang on, here's a picture of them back in the day. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Getting kicked in the face by a mule is a hell of a drug. I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen a real life person who was actually wall-eyed except for him. Which one is he, Gibson or Morton?
Yes.
They both are. They change every night.
Yeah. They
It's
do twin magic.
yeah. Like this is the trouble whenever I hear people talk about like, oh, tag team action in the South in the 80s, and it's like, oh, the Rock and Roll Express, these two sex gods. The Midnight Express, a couple of dipshit losers managed by Jim Cornette that Cornette still acts like are the greatest thing since fucking ever. Like, how many of the fucking teams that people cite as like, oh, the all-time great tag teams were just like two assholes managed by Jim Cornette?
Most of them.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they changed it up. Sometimes it was two assholes from Japan, managed by Mr. Fuji.
Oh, you're right. And then there's Road Warriors.
Yeah. Just two assholes. Who cares?
To be fair, the Road Warriors, like, I've always thought, man, how did Road Warriors get by with Hawk having a signature look that is male pattern balding? But when you look at the competition, it's like, goddamn, I can see why these guys took every title ever.
But not only that, but
Like,
the Road Warriors looked outlandish on purpose. Like that was their gimmick.
these guys look like what you would like the fucking guys you'd see at the local gas station trying to hit on the lady at the front desk and she's not reciprocating. And then they get disappointed and ask for a pack of smokes and then leave and just stand outside like a creep. Anyways, yeah, that one's the bad pick here. I mean, like, I've played 19 on the Xbox, so I know there's some odd picks in that one. Like, fucking, what was it? Scott Dawson and whoever who gives a shit. Like, just a bunch of who cares tag team picks, I guess, which this is where Pink comes in. Like, oh my God, Scott Dawson's part of the best tag team ever. Anyways.
Who is Scott Dawson?
I have no idea. He's got to be like fucking Jobber King of forever. Like, he's just some bald asshole with a beard or something.
Oh, is it the guy from Revival?
I don't know.
I think it may be the guy. I believe this is the guy from Revival. Yes. Yes.
Oh, is Revival not that Mark shit?
Scott Dawson, Dashwater of the Revival. Yes.
Okay, so that was just some Mark shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's they were cruiserweights on 205 Live, but they refused to do flips, and that was their gimmick. And then they got released.
I see. That'll teach them. Did they go over to AEW?
Maybe. Pink would know, but Pink's internet is disagreeing with him right now, I think.
Yes.
That came out fine.
And there he goes.
Yep.
Haku is also in 2K. Haku is also in 2K19, and that one, 2K19, I noticed the other day, has got like a shitload of weird picks because I'm looking at the roster. And like, for one thing, that game has fucking everyone. That game has a ludicrously sized roster, but would you agree, Eddie, that Haku is just a weird pick?
I mean, on one hand, yeah, but on the other, he hasn't been in a lot of wrestling games, at least not in the modern era. So,
yeah, I don't have anything against the pick. It's just kind of a weird one. He's one of those guys like, off the top of my head, like he was just one of those guys who sat around the WWE for 2 or 3 years to just be a mid-card threat and did nothing, you know?
I mean, I don't think it's any weirder than like General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa and freaking being in like 4 games in a row just so they can have Surgeon Slaughter as well.
Specifically the Iranian turncoat Slaughter, which never made sense to me. Like, just get rid of Adnan. Like, I think it was just blatantly just they wanted to keep Slaughter in each of the games, but they also didn't want to make a new model for classic Slaughter. Yeah. So just keep putting Adnan and Mustafa in to justify, oh yeah, it's Iranian Slaughter.
But I mean, like, here's the thing though, I don't remember the differences between Iranian Slaughter and normal Slaughter. Wouldn't that just have bbeen a texture work? Like, isn't it literally just change out the camo type and also the flag that he brings out, I think, maybe. And that's it.
Well, I think didn't he come out in like a little bit of an Iranian uniform or something like that during his entrance?
I don't remember.
He definitely didn't have the drill sergeant hat or the sunglasses. I'm pretty sure of that. Like he came out in a beret instead, I think.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Also, it's always. I know that they don't make their picks for these games based off quality of wrestling, but like Slaughter, to my understanding, I've never watched a Slaughter match, but my understanding was that Slaughter was, all right, not terrible back in his prime, but then Iranian Slaughter was the shits. At least partly because he's wrestling opposite Hulk Hogan, and no one looked good against Hulk Hogan in the early '90s. But
I mean, I think I've seen a Slaughter match, but I can't tell you because I've forgotten.
yeah.
Because like they used to air these things hosted by Mean Gene, where they would just show like all the 80s and before wrestling that they had in the archives for no reason really.
Yeah.
So I watched a bit of all wrestling to that. So I may have seen Slaughter wrestle at least once, but I don't know.
All right. Let's see. I guess I should move past the nothing talks about wrestling. To move on to something talks about wrestling. No, let's save that for last because wrestling always goes on for fucking ever with us.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think I really played anything on PC that's worth talking about. Yeah, nothing unusual for me. All right, so I got to watch, I believe, 2 movies this past couple weeks. I may have watched more, but if I don't remember, then I don't remember. All right, one movie I watched, I guess I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way first because it's the less interesting one, at least to talk about, was Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. It is from the guys that made John Wick, the guys who wrote it and directed it, I believe, and it is pretty well, what if John Wick was Bob Odenkirk instead of Keanu Reeves? Which, I mean, like, that's a fun idea because Bob Odenkirk, like, Keanu Reeves has the whole, like, Keanu Reeves, despite being in middle age, looks young. And he's got a little bit of the look to him where you could almost believe like he was an ex-military vet badass or whatever. But the appeal to having Bob Odenkirk here is that Bob Odenkirk doesn't look like that. He's, Saul from Better Call Saul. Or Breaking Bad, whichever one you want to say. He's not quite that look. And oh my God, Daddy, can you please delete that picture of the Rock and Roll Express? I hate it.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm also gonna go into the settings and adjust my audio so I won't get picked up as easily. Because I don't know if I'm cutting off or not at this point, but like I would like if background noise didn't get picked up instead of me.
Background noise isn't getting picked up.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, either which way, it was Nobody was a cute movie. It wasn't like a, oh my God, fucking knock your socks off, best action movie I've seen in years like John Wick was. But it was cute. It was neat seeing Bob Odenkirk do action scenes. The big cute thing is the finale. Where, spoilers for whoever gives a shit about Nobody, I guess. The big finale is that Bob Odenkirk calls in his dad and his adopted brother to help him in a big shootout against the Russian mob. And yes, it is the Russian mob again, because this is just John Wick. But either which way, he calls in his dad and his adopted brother, and his dad is played by fucking, I always forget this actor's name. God damn it. Okay. Pink will know. Like, help me. Okay, Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, his dad is played by Christopher Lloyd, who barely can move by this point. Like, Christopher Lloyd is moving like fucking the Great Khali throughout this whole movie.
He is
and there's just, yeah, throughout the entirety of the shooting segment, they realized Christopher Lloyd can't move. So, honest to God, what they did was they just got a bunch of they got like a dozen shotguns with straps, and they just strapped a dozen shotguns to his back. And honestly, what he does is he just wobbles around like an old man shooting random Russians.
Nice.
And just constantly pulling more shotguns off his back. It was kind of sad to watch, though, because seeing Christopher Lloyd nowadays, it's like, wow, Christopher Lloyd has aged into just being Doc Brown. How about that? Either which way, and Bob Odenkirk's brother in the movie is played by RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan, because that guy fucking loves movies. And it was cute. It was blatantly just a spot of, let's pull together 3 actors you definitely would not ever expect to do this kind of movie, have them all do one big shootout scene together. There you go. All right. Well, that was a fun gimmick. Was not astounding, holy shit, knock your socks off kind of movie, but hey, it was fun. Which I think is, like, when you're going in for that kind of movie, that's exactly what you're asking for.
I spent all of this time trying to figure out who you were talking about, the Wu-Tang. RZA. It's RZA.
Oh, I called him RZA. RZA. Okay, that does make more sense. Okay, yeah, it's RZA. There we go.
Yeah, I think they were RZA and SZA. I forget.
Okay. But I'm going to assume it was ODB and not Audible.
Yeah, it was ODB.
Yeah. All right. And the other movie I watched these past 2 weeks was The Suicide Squad. Which,
which one? Then I remembered, oh yeah, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Apparently that was a real fucking problem for the marketing team. Anyways, yeah, considerable improvement over the last one. I will, like, there was honestly only 1 or 2 decisions the movie made that I'm unhappy with. And one happens in the first, 2 or 3 minutes of the movie, so you can get that one right out of the way. So The Suicide Squad is a pretty fun, enjoyable movie. James Gunn is in charge, so he brings that Guardians of the Galaxy sensibility. But this movie is R-rated, so James Gunn gets to make a lot more crude jokes. I was shocked, the movie is rated R, but there was only 1 scene of nudity, and it was very blink and you'll miss it. That was kind of shocking. I was expecting, it's an R-rated movie, let's get some tits in there. I don't see a waggling cock yet. Anyways.
Yeah, sadly this movie came out in 2021 and not the 80s, so...
Yeah.
So people don't use the R rating.
Well, in the 80s, you had to have some nudity in there, or else it would have been PG. Just characters going, fucking shit, I'll fucking fuck, you're fucking tearing each other in half, people are exploding, showers of blood and gore. Then the trailer ends, parental guidance. Old times are funny, ain't they? Anyways, yeah, the movie does have a lot of cursing. I don't know if Pink's watched the movie yet. I don't think we'll be able to find out.
No.
Okay, you've not watched. Okay, so fair warning. Yeah, that's not one for the family. It is one I'd recommend you watch because I do think that you'd find the movie very charming, Pink. But there is very definitely a lot of cursing and a fair bit of vulgar humor, especially from Peacemaker, because he's played by John Cena, and that's just Cena. Apparently, yeah, Cena did improvise a lot with Peacemaker, which means that Peacemaker makes a lot of vulgar jokes. But it does admittedly wind up being kind of funny because Peacemaker is otherwise this drop-dead serious guy. So when he just all of a sudden makes these obscene gestures to people, it's like, what the fuck? Peacemaker is a lot of fun. I was pleasantly surprised by that because Cena is Cena is Cena, right? He's a little bit doofy in every movie. But it works for Peacemaker. It works for the whole cast. The whole cast is a lot of fun. There's a lot of segments where you can tell this segment entirely exists to answer a criticism of the last movie. One of the big criticisms of the last movie is that only 1 or 2 of the Suicide Squad members die. So the movie fucking opens with half the team dying. Of course it does.
One of the greatest issues people took up with the original Suicide Squad movie is that there wasn't enough Jared Leto, so we made the entire movie Jared Leto.
Ah, you're right. Yes, he's secretly there. You just can't see him. Anyways,
if you zoom out, then all of the movie's pictures are makeup pixels of Jared Leto.
Yeah. The entirety of King Shark is just made from the damaged pixels.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Yeah, another one that is related to Joker, but not quite Joker, is first Suicide Squad. People walked away a bit like Harley was kind of useless in that movie. Like people were hesitant to criticize Harley because that was the first time we saw Margot Robbie as Harley, and Margot Robbie was more or less perfectly cast as Harley. But she didn't have anything to do in that movie, and they gave her the big moment against the villain for no real reason. And in the Suicide Squad, they very much fixed that. Harley is very important here, and there's pretty well an entire scene of, oh, so that's why Harley's useful to the team. Because she gets the fucking crazy, nutty ass fight scene in the movie. Like, I will say, like, I love James Gunn's work on a lot of these movies. Harley gets a scene about halfway through the movie that is more or less straight up just the fucking Rocket Raccoon and Yondu killing all the Ravagers scene from Guardians 2. And Pink, you'll know it when you see it. Which, that's not a bad scene to imitate, a bad scene of your own to copy. That was probably the best part of Guardians 2. Other than that, like, there's just a lot of fun with the cast dynamic. All the actors are like properly cast for their roles. I will say I'm still not a fan of making Amanda Waller just an out and out villain. I think she's more interesting when she's a ruthless but genuinely means well. Amanda Waller does continue to be the villain here, which is unfortunate. They completely redeemed Rick Flag as a character. A lot of people walked away from the first Suicide Squad, including me, thinking Rick Flag was kind of a boring character, which was kind of sad because Joel Kinnaman does do a lot of work with the character. And the Suicide Squad entirely redeems the character, and Joel Kinnaman's work on the character really shines. Idris Elba is a lot of fun, despite the fact that he's just pretty well Idris Elbaing it up. I mean, honestly, like, I love Idris Elba, but most of Idris Elba's movie career has been a lot of fuck-ups, so I'm glad he at least got this one in for a consistent work win. Because otherwise,
it's not that to play Knuckles. It'll make it fine. Oh,
right, I forgot. Look, finally, his breakthrough role. Yeah, Idris Elba is a, like, from what I've seen, a solid actor. But he's had much more success with TV than movies, so I'm glad he got at least one in, though my understanding is sadly this movie did not do well at the box office. But hey, COVID came at the wrong fucking time. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of fun with that. I will say, I don't know how to feel about King Shark as a character. Because, I mean, like, he's got a lot of my pet peeves there in terms of, like, the Venom thing of, like, he's a superhero. He eats people. And, like, it's not like the Venom in the movies. My understanding is you don't ever see Venom on screen eat somebody. It's just like, oh, it cuts away and then you hear belching noises, right? The usual shit. Yeah. But King Shark, no. King Shark just vores people on screen. Yeah. Well, I guess so. Yeah, that community must have gone nuts for this shit. Come to think of it, he's also like, what's the fish equivalent of a furry?
They're still furries. It's like people sometimes try to be pedantic and break it up. I don't think fish furries have an actual like, specific name, but usually people are just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, furry. Like it's it's an overall community just because it was named after like how most people would take like mammals with fur. Doesn't mean that people who are like birds and stuff like that can be a part.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you don't expect it, but like you really do expect like, oh, the camera will cut away and maybe you see a blood splatter or something. No, he just stuffs a guy fully down his throat. He just King Shark deep throats a whole man.
Yep.
Now that takes talent.
King Shark can go next to Sonic the Hedgehog being throat goats.
Okay. Anyways, let's see. I do. One thing I do like is that King Shark is fucking useless because he's an idiot who his only idea of how to solve problems is by eating them. So anytime they need to actually get anything serious done, it's like, all right, King Shark spent the entire fight eating one guy. Good work, Nanawe. Oh, man. One thing I will say, the movie is very lighthearted in a gruesome, vulgar sense. a lot of the way through the movie, and then when you're about 2/3 of the way through the movie, they reveal the real villain. And I was very impressed because a lot of this is like very much in the style of Marvel, but more vulgar and R-rated. But then 2/3 of the way through the movie, oh no, all humor leaves. Shoo out the fucking clowns. And you get probably the most disturbing scene in a superhero movie yet. Like, that is just straight up grim, morose, what the fuck. And the comedy does eventually come back, but it is just like suddenly a like omega serious scene. And it's done very well. And it's just like, holy shit. And you'll know it when you see it. God damn. What I'll say is, when the first Suicide Squad movie ended, I was not excited for a sequel. Here, I'm hoping they'll let James Gunn do a Suicide Squad 3, because I think he could make it really fun. I hope that poor James Gunn has to immediately go from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to Suicide Squad 3. Oh, one thing I will say, very pleasant surprise. We rented the DVD because we don't have internet out here, right? And I was very pleasantly surprised. The DVD actually came with a blooper reel. They never do that shit nowadays, at least not on the regular DVD. You have to get the special edition for that shit nowadays. But no, it came with the blooper reel. And the blooper reel was awesome. There's a great part where
I remember when back in my day, the Jackie Chan freaking movies just ended with the blooper reel. Because why not?
Yeah, they played it. They played it during the credits. I remember. I grew up with Rush Hour movies, and every time it ended with the credit, the blooper reel.
I grew up with Jackie Chan's just freaking like movies, all of them, more or less.
Yeah.
So that's the quality I expect out of movies. Anyway, continue.
I do wonder if it's possibly that nowadays the people working on movies have a bit less humility about things. I wonder if that's part of it, and they don't want to admit that they make fuck-ups.
Maybe.
But either which way, the blooper reel was pretty fucking good. Unsurprisingly, John Cena's there, so of course he's going to yuck it up. But they have, there's one particular blooper that I loved, which is supposed to be a simple scene of, okay, the Suicide Squad is inside a bus. Idris Elba, his character, is handing out everyone's disguises, their street clothes that they're supposed to wear, while Rick Flag explains what they're going to do as the next part of the plan. But Idris Elba was throwing the street clothes to people, and when he throws David Dastmalchian's clothes to him, he nails him right in the fucking nuts.
Nice.
But Joel Kinnaman gets interrupted during his monologue, looks back to see David Dastmalchian holding his balls and going, oh! And Joel Kinnaman just looks back at the camera and does his actually manages to keep a straight face and continue the monologue for a little bit. Okay, if I keep doing this, we can keep this in the final cut. And he gets so far in the monologue, and he finally looks back again to see that David Dastmalchian is on the floor, still holding his nuts. And Joel Kinnaman is like, okay, fucking cut it. We ain't making this cut.
I wish he would have kept going with the monologue. I wish he didn't look back the second time.
Yeah.
Then it would have been a freaking Leslie Nielsen bit.
Yeah, it actually the thing is, I think that David Dastmalchian had to chime in after the monologue, so Joel Kinnaman realized, oh yeah, there's no way David's gonna be able to say anything. He's not conscious right now.
Yeah, that sucks. I wish.
Yeah, it is, because it was such a great take. Otherwise, Joel Kinnaman did a fantastic job of Leslie Nielsen-ing his way through the blooper.
What they should have done is they should have caught the camera away so they didn't see the guy on the floor, and then he just answers like normally.
I imagine another part of it is, I imagine Joel Kinnaman looked over at I don't know, the actress who plays Ratcatcher, or maybe Idris Elba, and saw they were probably laughing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the camera actually follows it brilliantly, of Idris Elba throwing the t-shirt at David Dastmalchian over the actress who's playing Ratcatcher and nailing David Dastmalchian hard. The hardest I've ever seen someone be nailed in the nuts with a t-shirt. That's what I'll say. Idris Elba threw an entire TV at David Dastmalchian's nuts.
Idris Elba is sending out Teletubby costumes to all of the Suicide Squad.
Man, no wonder David Dastmalchian was in pain. He might need them to be fucking Hey, he might need. Okay. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Quick.
Which one is he?
Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man. Oh no. Oh boy. Anyway. Yeah, it's a really fun movie. I liked it. There's a scene where Harley Quinn talks about a dude's massive penis.
Relatable.
Anyways. Alright. So, let's see. And the remaining thing that I did with my week was I watched for one thing, I watched several OSW reviews because I'm getting back into wrestling for some reason. I don't know why. And yeah, OSW reviews is a really fun way to get into old wrestling shows and watch them, especially if you don't have WWE Network because you ain't going to pay for it. And yeah, they've been doing a series lately on Ultimate Warrior's Return to WCW.
Oh!
And yeah. The fucking classic, like, I forgot about the classic of Hollywood Hogan goes back to his room in the locker room, and he goes back there, and Warrior's in the mirror, but he's not really there. Oh! And like the commentators also sell it from the commentary booth, like, oh my God, Warrior's in the mirror. But Eric Bischoff is also in the room with Hogan, and he doesn't sell it. And he's like, what are you talking about, Hogan? I don't see him. So it's like, oh, so Eric Bischoff is, rather than it being a supernatural thing of, oh no, Hogan is seeing Warrior, it's instead kind of like this inverse thing of like, oh, Bischoff's the only one who doesn't see him.
Yeah.
It's not, Bischoff is like a null to the fucking supernatural, I guess.
Bischoff doesn't believe in the Warrior. That's why he doesn't see him.
Yeah. Also, this was the Russo era of WCW beginning, I want to say. And thankfully, I don't think Russo had fully taken over the show, but there's still some it may not have been Russo. Correction, it may have not been Russo. Because the most Russo-esque segment around that time was when they were having Eddie do Latino World Order.
Yeah.
And they had Eddie start off by coming out and cutting a promo with his suitcase saying, Eric Bischoff, you are not doing well for me, so I am going to go to Japan. And it's just like, holy fuck, Eddie could not cut a promo back then. Like, I was so confused when Eddie was not only coming out and cutting a promo with the most nasally, weak little voice, but also American accent. Like, I'm so used to the Viva la Raza, China, I wanted some of that, that whole thing. I forgot. Oh yeah, Eddie's just a dude from fucking is he even from El Paso?
Actually, I think he is.
I gotta look up where Eddie was raised because he doesn't even sound Texan.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is honestly what he sounds like, and suddenly Vicky makes a lot of sense because Eddie just sounds like Vicky. Oh yeah, I was born and raised in El Paso. How about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, they had Eddie come out and be like, "Oh, Eric Bischoff, something or other." And they had him reference the fucking Brian Pillman, Kevin Sullivan bit, and it's like, oh god, wrestling was it was so up its own ass with this work shoot business at that time,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Guerrero is taking the WCW world title to ROH.
Eddie was not touching a championship belt at that time. Holy Jesus. That was the time period where they had who was it? They had Billy Kidman get built up so much and they have him go out and fucking job to Scott Hall while Scott Hall is doing the alcoholic gimmick and it's supposed to be wrestling drunk.
That wasn't a gimmick.
Well, no. Okay, just because the character he's working a gimmick on screen doesn't mean just because he actually does act like that in the real world doesn't mean it's not also a gimmick. But that was the time period, yes, where they were also, because again, work, shoot, everybody work yourselves into shoots. Or shoot yourselves into works, I guess. At that time, Scott Hall was working an alcoholic gimmick, so they had all the NWOs trying to get him straight and clean. And they had him go out and wrestle Billy Kidman. And Billy Kidman was at that time the top of the cruiserweight division. So it should have been like drunk Scott Hall can't even fucking get his fingers on him. He's too fast. He can't catch him. Billy Kidman just wrestles circles around him. Like, that would be how you'd book it, right? And that's how, like, you have a couple matches like that, and Scott Hall realizes, oh my God, I've fallen off the wagon. I need to get clean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't have fucking drunk Scott Hall pulverize the top of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, no,
It's the same. It's the same shit as like when they have the champion beat when they have the singles champion beat the tag team champs. Like, anytime the tag team champs are used as enhancement talent for the main title, right? And they're used as minions, and they get stomped by the face, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look.
How many fucking times were there that they were heel tag team champions, part of like the Nexus or something, and they'd come out and they'd both get fucked by John Cena? 2v1, they lose. Like, you can't do that shit. If you have a separate division and you have someone on top of that division, they should be a serious threat to everyone else in the other divisions because they're the top of their division.
But
like,
look, yeah.
You're just going to out and out say, oh yeah, this is the joke shit division. We send these people here as a joke.
Yeah, we trained them wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
But like, Scott Hall couldn't lose to Billy Kidman. So we could set up the storyline where the rest of the NWO realizes that the alcohol gives him power, and then they all become alcoholics.
See, there's some wrestlers you could do that with. Scott Hall ain't one of them. Like, you could do the drunken master gimmick, but don't do it with, like even for the purpose of the stinky memes that we're doing right now. I'll just go ahead and say doing the drunken master gimmick with a guy who's actually got serious problems with alcohol in real life. Yeah, maybe don't. Oh man, there's no class. There's no class. I mean, most of wrestling is classless. Don't get me wrong. I have no illusions about the fact that like this is by and large a like low quality, low brow, low class stuff where it's like, swerve, bring out the fucking baseball bats and barbed wire. But I mean, fuck's sakes, people, you know. This was running on Turner Broadcast at the time. What's his name? Ted Turner. Ted Turner was a respected name at the time, you know. And WCW, everybody knew WCW was Ted Turner's pet project. The moment Ted Turner was out, they got rid of it. They sold it for fucking peanuts to Vince. Anyways, yeah, there was a whole load of stuff on WCW. Warrior was there, and Warrior was fucking doing his thing.
He was doing coke. He was doing.
They had him do a promo where he came out and cut a promo on Sting before they were going to be a tag team for a little bit. Because, hey, remember when Sting and Warrior were a tag team? You sure don't, but we'll do it anyways because we're just booking for the fucking marks now. But anyways, they had Warrior come out and cut a promo with Sting, and Warrior says, "Oh, Steve." But by the way, Warrior never once called him Sting. He called him Steve every time. Because work yourself into a shoot, brother.
No, because you see, he's a man called Steve.
The man called Steve.
Oh, God. So Warrior comes out. Steve, I think you know. A little bit of paint can go a long way. And if you got the will to do the fight and then to lose and you don't have the will, then you lose the fight and the thing. And so you just audibly hear someone in the crowd say out, "Shut the fuck up!"
Nice.
Like that, it's just one of those funny contrasts of like, it's been 8 or 9 years since everybody was going goo goo gaga for Warrior shit. And it's been a long 8 or 9 years. So now when Warrior comes back, people are a little bit more like, what the fuck's he saying? It has gone past, oh my God, this guy's crazy, I love it, to, oh my God, this guy's crazy. Can we get somebody who's a coherent promo, please? And like, that was especially a bad time for Warrior to come into WCW because that was a time where like Hollywood Hogan and DDP were coming out and cutting fucking masterclass promos every week. And then here's Warrior, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh boy, like being a bad promo in an era like early 90s WWE when things were starting to fall apart was already bad enough. But like in a time period where 2 of the all-time best promos were working, and like DDP was managing to make a feud work with Bill Goldberg, despite the fact that Goldberg didn't cut a single fucking promo. Like, and of course, Goldberg is there and he's throwing everyone around like rag dolls. And listen to OSW, it's funny, one of those things, because like the OSW guys are going gaga for him because they're like, oh, Goldberg, he looked so great. Oh, I can't believe they fumbled him. He looked so amazing. And it's like, yeah, I'm totally making the OSW guys sound like fucking Lucky Charms Irishmen. Anyways. Like, for me, it's watching it, it's like, oh my God, how many years did Goldberg take off people's lives? Right? Because, like, sure, it looked cool that Goldberg would just throw someone up in the air and then Oklahoma slam them or whatever. At the same time, like, we know Goldberg was a, like, very unsafe worker. Like, the guy, for all intents and purposes, immediately ended Bret Hart's career with one super kick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever you look back at these matches and you see him working so loosely with people, it stops being, oh my God, he's such a badass, he's just throwing people around like rag dolls, and starts being, oh my God, Bill, slow down.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, old WCW was really something. I've not really been exposed to old WCW other than watching this OSW stuff, so it's a lot of fun. Like, I'll be honest, the first WCW show that I've seen more or less in full was like either the build-up to or the climax of the fucking, what was it, the Dungeon of Doom or the Faces of Terror?
Oh no, Dungeons of Doom probably.
Yeah, where they had Hogan versus, what was it? I think they had Abdullah, Earthquake when he was supposed to be like a shark or something, or no, that was Faces of Terror. But yeah, oh God, fucking Ed Leslie, Butch. Why did you say?
When was Earthquake supposed to be a shark? Like, I remember Tugboat, but that may be the other one. I don't even remember.
Well, when John Tenta went over to WCW, instead of being Earthquake, he was like, I don't know, the Shark or something. They didn't even like call him the Great White or something, because that would have worked, like the Big White or something. But no, they had him work some kind of shark gimmick, and he was part of the Faces of Terror with Cactus Jack and someone else. I don't remember who. And it was universally considered a terrible gimmick, getting put on like 2 or 3 wrestlers who were otherwise pretty great for one reason or another. Not that I'd ever call Mick Foley a great wrestler, but Mick Foley was great in other ways.
Was just Shark.
Oh God, that's so lazy.
Yep.
Call him the Great White. Like, I mean, John Tenta was pale as fuck, so it worked.
I mean,
and he was great in size.
I like some of these other names that he said. The Canadian Earthquake Evans.
His name Canadian Evans. Canadian Earthquake's pretty great. Yeah, have they put Earthquake in? Have they put Earthquake in any of the WWE games?
It's not even just Canadian Earthquake. It's the Canadian Earthquake.
There's only one.
Yeah. So who was Tugboat? I believe Tugboat was in a wrestling game, but not Earthquake. And they were in a team, if I remember correctly.
Earthquake and
Fred Ottman. The Shockmaster. Shit.
The Shark Master. Wait, did you say Shockmaster?
Yes, Fred Outman, who was Tugboat, is also the Shockmaster, and also Big Baba and Typhoon.
Oh, why did I think the Shockmaster was Ole?
I don't know.
Ole Anderson?
Yeah, maybe it's just because I don't like Ole, so I want to put everything bad on from that era of wrestling on him. That era of Southern wrestling.
Yeah, okay, I remembered this correctly. He turned heel to form the Natural Disasters with Earthquake.
Yes. Which he was not still Tugboat when he was that, because a tugboat is not a natural disaster.
No, he was Typhoon by then.
That would be funny. The Natural Disaster Tugboat.
The Natural Disasters, Tugboat and the Shark.
All right. Which I don't think I got to hear your answer, Pink. Did they ever put Earthquake in any of the WWE games?
Yes, it did.
Which one?
He's actually in 2K16, if I'm mistaken. And he would be in 2K17 and 18 as well.
Is he a DLC in 16?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, because I've got 16 right here, and I was like, I haven't seen him in the fucking game. What are you saying? Oh man, but they took him out for 19. God damn it. That's two wrestlers. That's two wrestlers I'm gonna have to that were taken out from 18 to 19. I'm gonna have to go and go and download Creator Wrestlers.
Yeah.
Him and Fujinami was in all the way from 16 to 18, but then removed for 19. Right?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, I've been reading about that. And is that not weird? Is that not like really stupid? They had both like they had Inoki beat Bob Backlund for the WWE title, and they just pretended it never happened. And 10 years later, the same shit happens with Fujinami and Flair for the WCW title, right?
Right. Weird times.
Like, I guess the thing was they like wanted Backlund to have a 7-year reign, so they just like, fuck it, Inoki was non-canon.
Yeah.
That was Japan-specific filler.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I bet part of it also is?
Yeah.
They didn't get Inoki to drop the title back, and I bet they would have trouble getting Inoki to drop the title back, considering he's a notorious egomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fujinami, they could definitely get WCW could definitely get Fujinami to drop the title back, considering they then came back to the States and had Fujinami lose, but they still considered the first win non-canon. Which, by the way, I watched the second Fujinami versus Flair match, right? And I've always heard that one's supposed to be a classic, Fujinami Flair, right?
Right.
And a 25-minute match. No, I thought that shit was boring as fuck.
Understandable. I'm not personally.
I didn't hear what Pink said. What did he say?
I don't think he saw it, is what I understood.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of rest holds. The only thing I thought was very impressive was like, they consistently both worked the leg, Flair worked the legs and Fujinami worked the back because Flair was in the plane crash, right? Except it's like, well, I mean, Flair works the legs in every fucking match. That's his thing.
Yep.
Like, far be it for me to suggest that's the bare bones basics of fucking wrestling psychology. Oh, I have a finish that's a submission. I should probably work the limbs that are worked by that submission. Maybe. I don't know.
Boy, will you be surprised when Flair breaks out the figure 4 backlog.
Yeah.
Backlog. He just brings out a big fucking log and puts it on the other guy and then pins them with it.
I mean, also Fujinami starts working the legs halfway through the match, which I thought was weird. Like, stick with what you were gonna do, and they were so slow. Which, I mean, to my understanding, Fujinami was getting pretty old by that point. But I mean, like, oh god, and they just go to the ringside and they just fuck around at ringside for a little bit, which is never good. Unless like you're gonna do a spot at ringside, like suplex onto the mat or something. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. And of course, Flair gigs, because he's Flair. Fuck
yeah.
Me, you know? Yeah, it's like the match where you haven't been even punched like 3 or 4 times, Flair. Fucking save it for like the knockout brawls with like Dusty or something. You can't just get like back suplexed and like, all right, time to get some fucking color. What?
That was Flair's thing. So like, you know how in all the 80s movies they would hire actresses they would basically hire actresses to just get naked. So after a while, those actresses would get hired for roles that they don't have to get naked, and they would get naked anyway because that's just how they've been conditioned. That's Flair. Flair's been conditioned to gig.
I just imagine like the increasingly ridiculous moves that Flair would gig from. Oh man,
Dragon Screw.
I got Dragon Screw. I hit my back so hard the blood vessels on my forehead popped.
No, ankle lock.
Yeah. I could see Flair doing that, especially like if the cameraman focuses on the guy giving the ankle lock for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And Flair just suddenly like his front arms give out and now he's face first on the canvas. Oh, he's holding his face. What's he doing? Oh no, he's bleeding.
Yeah, I mean,
God!
I'm just trying to figure out what would the most like stupid be, like the one that you can't even like explain. Because with Dragon Screw, you could argue, oh, he fell on his face and busted it open. It doesn't make sense, but you could argue with just the ankle lock. How did he start bleeding?
Wrist lock.
Yes.
Just a regular standing wrist lock.
A hammer
The
lock.
match.
No, a hammer
The
lock.
match starts. The match starts. Neither guy has done a move. Flair gigs.
It gives him a buff.
Irish whip. Flair has now got color.
Freaking Flair.
Wrestling's the fucking dumbest.
Flair has the thing from SVR08 where if he busts himself open, then he gets a finisher for free.
Yeah. Oh god, I forgot about that. Right. Well, at least they had that one with a chair. At least your character doesn't pull a fucking razor blade out of his wrist tape. That would be a funny one if they just add that in. Fuck it. Just that's a new move. Get some color. Gig yourself.
But it's a QT, and if you
half of Flair's moveset consists of gigging himself.
But it's a QTE move, and if you mess up on any of the QTEs, then you gig yourself for real. And like instead of doing it on the part that doesn't hurt, you hurt yourself, and your head just gets like lower colored as the match goes on.
There are hidden razor blades in the Xbox controller that cut the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, old wrestling. How about that? I did watch one other older wrestling match. If I say old, it might just make Pink wrinkled to 80 in a second. Older wrestling match is supposed to be considered a classic, and it's the first time I've ever seen it. Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin on Raw.
The first and second one.
Shit, I don't know. The one that was in the tournament to see who gets number one contender, I think.
Yeah.
The one with the ending sweet chin music to the springboard spot.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, is that considerably better than the second one?
That's what I've been told. I think I'm undecided. I'll say yeah, it's better of the two. But I really like the second one. It's worth watching.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, that was a holy fucking shit. They gave that match away for free. You know? Like, that was just top to bottom, Belton and Mon. No, Shelton and Shawn both just fucking worked their asses off forever. And they do, every bit you can do in a match. We start off with, rapid fire fucking amateur wrestling. Okay, now let's both do, a bit more, impressive, regular spots. Oh, now we both do high-flying bits and so on. But they don't do it so rapid-fire that it's oh, holy Jesus. Both you slow the fuck down. Really fun match. I definitely need to bring it up later, hook up a phone to the TV in the living room and show it to my family on YouTube, because no one in my family has seen Shelton Benjamin yet, and I've not mentioned him, but yeah, Shelton is one of my all-time favorites. I don't know about you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like Shelton.
Shelton's one of those unfortunate situations. Shelton, the thing with Shelton always goes back to, well, he couldn't have gotten a main event run because he didn't have mic skills, right? Which personally, I've never seen a Shelton promo. Have either of you guys?
Nope.
I have.
I have yet to see a proper Shelton Benjamin match in full.
Is he like Brett, where everybody says that he's shit on the mic, but he's actually okay? Because I always thought Brett was underrated on the mic.
I'm willing to agree to that.
But what about Shelton?
That's what I was agreeing to.
Okay.
He's kind of a mixed bag. There are plenty of promos where he wasn't great, but there were plenty of times where he showed a lot of charisma.
Do you think that a large part of him was assassinated just by the Mama Benjamin angle?
Yes.
Because, that shit didn't work for Buff Bagwell. I don't know why they'd try it again 6 years later with Shelton.
Right.
Yeah, it's... which Shelton is still with the company now, right?
Yes.
Okay, apparently not for long. But
I thought he quit already, honestly.
He's on Raw, isn't he?
He's
got to be on. Oh man, we don't get fucking USA out here because we all we just get the local channels. So of course we get Fox so we can watch SmackDown, but no USA, so no Raw. God damn it! That's actually a good enough motivation for me to start watching Raw again. It's just the Shelton's there. I also kind of want to tune in because I've not really got to see Becky Lynch, and there's been so much talk about her. I want to see her, and also like I've not seen a whole lot of them doing anything because they just show little highlights on SmackDown. But I gotta say, the idea of Orton and Riddle as a tag team also interests me. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was a pretty incredible match. I ordinarily think Shawn Michaels is the most overrated man in wrestling, but yeah, he actually earned the praise there. That was a match where both of them were fantastic. Like when Shawn was on, Shawn was fucking on, and then sometimes you have WrestleMania 26.
Yep.
Are those the two most overrated matches in wrestling history? Shawn versus Taker at 25 and 26?
I like 25. I don't like 26, and I would put WrestleMania 10, the ladder match, as completely overrated.
That one is a thing that I think is just because you and I and Addie are so young. I'll say I do think that Shawn versus Razor is still a good match, but it is not like, at the time, I have to imagine that was the fucking equivalent of Hardy's, Dudley's, Edge, and Christian, right? Oh my god, I can't believe Shawn killed himself.
More or less.
What? What'd you say?
It kind of.
Yeah, at the time, it was just like, holy shit, I can't believe Shawn nearly killed himself by jumping off that ladder that's the same height as the turnbuckle. Oh, man. All right, so to get to, there's been SmackDown on the last couple weeks as well, and soon is currently coming in, blowing up my fucking Steam, talking about how he's shitting all over Ornstein and Smo. I don't need to know what he does with that. Anyways, so SmackDown the last couple weeks, yeah, it's been it's what I've been saying on the forum, right? Is Roman comes out and cuts fun promos. Well, they give him a shit promo, and Roman turns it into a fun one. They have Charlotte come out, they give her a shit promo, and she turns it into a fun one. Other than that, in terms of promos, it's all shit. Because there's only 2 people on the roster right now who are good at turning WWE's chicken shit scripts into chicken salad, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is there was one particular bit, I don't remember if it was this most recent week or the week before, there was actually a genuinely great build-up segment. It went nowhere, sadly, but it was a great build-up segment. So they've been building up for Survivor Series, of course. And this past few weeks, the way they've been building up for Survivor Series is it's supposed to be champion versus champion all throughout the card. I hate champion versus champion matches because it's meaningless. Unless you have, where it's whoever wins gets the other guy's belt and becomes dual champion, that's meaningful. But if it's just an exhibition match, then it's so not only does this match not have any effect in terms of championships, it also, because it's a fucking cross-brand match, because of course it is, it will also be meaningless because the moment the match is over, they will go back to pretending that they're in separate universes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And that's what Survivor Series is nowadays. It's all cross-brand matches. Fuck you. It's just taking a month out of the schedule to have all the wrestlers pretend that they're in another universe, then they're done. All right, return to your regularly scheduled programming. So stupid.
Yep.
And I think
and here's the
we used to have Night of the Champions to do this with.
That's a good question. And the other thing is now having every Survivor, having Survivor Series be team for brand A versus team for brand B means that match will be booked the same every fucking year. Because what you have is, oh no, the heels on Team Raw have turned on their faces on Team Raw. Oh, Team Raw gets fucked, Team SmackDown wins. And then the next year you have the same shit, but this time Team SmackDown eats shit because the heels turn on the faces. And it's for God's sake, go back to the old Survivor Series thing where, there was a reason for the teams. Where, the original Survivor Series, Hulk Hogan is assembling the fucking Avengers of WWF versus who was the heel opposite Hogan for the original Survivor Series? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's old WWF. Hogan fucking got the pin. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hogan made a team comprised of Hogan and Hogan and Hogan and Hogan and Hogan.
Yeah. It was actually a team of, Barber and so on, but like from Hogan's perspective, it was just extensions of himself.
Yes, Hulk the Barber Hogan.
Coco B. Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk B.
The Junkyard Hogan.
Hulk B. Hogan.
Hulk the Macho Man Hogan.
Freaking.
Coming out to the ring now, the $1 Million Hogan. Hogan. Yoko Hogan or Hogan Zuna? What'd you say?
I said Hulkazuna.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Oh, man. Anyways, yeah. So regardless, they've been having good build-up to the Survivor Series, though, because both Roman Reigns and Xavier Woods are on the same show. They're both on SmackDown. Xavier Woods, for a little bit, has had the King of the Ring gimmick, and it's supposed to be a big thing, because Xavier's always loved King of the Ring. He's always talked about it on his YouTube channel and so on. And they've been having Xavier do this whole, kind of almost obvious send up to King Booker thing without explicitly saying it's a send up to King Booker, right? And that whole thing.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine that for Xavier Woods, being the age he is, he probably would be idolizing Booker T a fair bit. But either which way, they had this great segment where Roman Reigns and the Usos were insulted that Xavier was calling himself the king because Roman's, the chief and the head of the table or whatever. Why does he need two nicknames? Just call him the chief. He doesn't need to be the head of the table too. Anyways, unless you want to go for the gimmick of him having too many nicknames, right? Because if he's doing the whole royal angle and have him have too many nicknames, and have him have Paul Heyman comes out and gives it every single nickname, right? And eventually the faces just get sick of it and start clobbering him.
But they already did that with Alberto Del Rio.
They did, but Del Rio was the fucking drizzling shits in human form.
I'm not saying that he didn't, but they did that too recently, I guess.
That's one of those cases where it wasn't the gimmick, it was the worker.
Yeah.
Either which way.
But Roman Reigns is the head of the table because he is secretly the table.
Anyways, so what they had was the Usos and Roman stole all of Xavier's props. They took his throne, they took his scepter, they took his crown, they took all his shit. They took his cape, even. My God, not the cape. But anyways, they go out to the ring, and what they do is, after having stolen all that shit, the Usos start cutting a promo about how awesome Roman Reigns is, and oh my God, he's the best ever. We're gonna crown you king. You're gonna be king of the ring and something or other. You're gonna be the chief and the king. And they do this long thing for a good while, long-winded, just licking Roman Reigns' ass, every square inch of it. And then Roman gets on the mic and just simply says, "All right, cut that shit out. I don't need this. I don't need any of this. I don't need to be king. I'm already the baddest motherfucker here. I don't need any of this." Which already was a great heel bit to do, because have the heel shit on his own mooks, his own minions, just because they're trying to praise him, right?
Yeah, and then Roman Reigns broke Jimmy Uso's neck with forehand.
And he looked at Jay and said, "You keep this up, you're next."
Yeah.
They went from the Usos to the Uso. Anyways. And they have him do all that, and it works out great, and it makes Roman look like a badass. And Xavier comes out on the ramp, and Xavier says, Xavier cuts a whole promo on how he should have more respect for the king, right? And Roman says, "Is that so? Then you wouldn't mind if I had Jimmy break the scepter?" And Xavier says, "No, because it's not the clothes that make the king, right?" So Jimmy snaps the scepter over his knee. All right, and then Roman says, "Well, if you still feel that way, you wouldn't mind if I had Jay stomp all over the cape, would you?" And Xavier repeats himself again, and Jay throws down the cape and starts stomping on it, right? And throws it around to ringside, maybe even threw it to the audience. I wasn't paying attention to that part. And Roman asks him again, "Well, then you wouldn't mind if we broke this throne, would you?" And Xavier starts visibly having tears in his eyes, which I assume were fake tears that he droppered in before, but still. either which way, yeah, he starts crying a little bit, and he doubles down again. It's still not the clothes, it's not the throne that makes the king. So he has the Usos throw the throne to ringside, nearly fucking nailing Pat McAfee. And in my head, I went, God, I wish. And the throne, of course, because it was made out of like, cheap balsa wood or whatever, the throne fucking explodes from being thrown like 5 feet. So that was actually a pretty great visual because they made it out of cheap wood. I like that. Roman asks it one last time for the crown. Xavier says, okay. What? Xavier says, no, it's not the crown that makes the king. Roman throws the crown down, stomps all over it, breaks it in two. And then, of course, the Usos grab Xavier, they drag him to the center of the ring, and they hold him up for Roman to Superman punch him or whatever. And then they have a great backstage segment where Xavier is like walking, barely walking, limping away, and he's holding the shards of the crown, and it's a great visual. And I'm thinking, okay, the end of the show segment needs to be, all right, like, Xavier doesn't just come out by himself this time. It needs to be even the odds, right? Whenever you've got a 3 heels versus 1 face, got to even the odds. That's the classic segment. So I thought, like, okay, they're building up for Roman versus Big E. So have Xavier come out with Big E, but also have Xavier come out with Booker, right? And have Booker cut a promo. Have Booker cut a promo on Roman about disrespecting the crown and all that. But no, Big E just comes out and fucks the Usos and Roman by himself without Xavier even helping. It's like, okay, so the heels look like shit. Great.
Yep. I mean, all of this is building up to Xavier's Emperor's New Clothes gimmick.
God. It's just, like, you have the guys go out and do a great segment. A genuinely great segment. I don't know which writer in WWE did that. They should fire all the rest and keep that one guy. Stephanie just needs to get rid of all the others. And then just like everyone else fucks it up, I guess. Why? Anyways. Yeah, all that build-up between Roman and Xavier, it should be an obvious like underdog face versus monster heel with 2 minion heels gimmick. Like, oh, that's a great underdog face build-up for something. But no, it's there so the underdog face's friend can come in and help, who is far more dominant. So it's no longer an underdog. Now it's just monster face versus monster heel with like shitty build-up. Oh God. I don't want to spend too much time mouthing off of.
It's up dog. Think tried to speak.
He got got by Updog.
Yeah.
I will find this Updog. Oh man. Alright. I still think one of the best parts of God of War 4 is the segment where they more or less reveal, oh yeah, Kratos, like, not only have Kratos and Atreus been speaking like Scandinavian the entire game, for another thing, Kratos is actually illiterate in Scandinavian in Norse. And that's also probably why Kratos speaks in such an awkward, stilted manner in God of War 4, where he didn't in the first 3 Greek games, is because Kratos is speaking a language he's still not used to.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, to get back to wrestling, other notable bits from the week. I will say, they had a Battle Royal on this most recent SmackDown. And they actually did the bit they never do nowadays, or well, actually they may have been doing it all the time nowadays. I guess I haven't been watching for 5 or 6 years. But they had a Battle Royal to determine the number 1 contender that goes against Roman, I don't know, next week or something. Well, I guess it was last night. Shit, I forgot SmackDown was last night. We didn't watch. Damn. Either which way, they had the Battle Royal. It looked like it was won by Jeff Hardy because they were in North Carolina, right? So everybody goes, oh, we love the Hardys and we love meth. So Jeff Hardy wins. The crowd goes nuts. Hey, wait a second. Sammy comes in. He'd been hiding under the ring apron. Sami Zayn. He throws Jeff over the top rope. The crowd just boos. And Sammy's working the fucking Fidel Castro gimmick. So, of course, he comes on. It's like, oh, it's finally equality. The new, definitely, yeah, the new Mean Gene lady comes out to interview him. And right as she's about to interview him, she just instead says, actually, it's just been confirmed. Brock Lesnar's back. Hey! And it's like, Oh, good. Bring in Sami Zayn, build him up as a chicken shit heel, get him to work an actually pretty funny gimmick that he does a good job of looking the part for. Fuck that. It's Brock Lesnar time.
Is female Mean Gene just Mean Gina?
That's a good question.
I like it.
It's kind of a terrifying thought, honestly. Anyways, yeah, so good booking decisions abound. Oh, speaking of another good booking decision, so the top feud right now they seem to be pushing is Charlotte comes out every week and she cuts a promo about how great she is and how shitty Becky is, even though Becky's on the other show, because Survivor Series. And then Tony Storm? Is it Tony Storm? I nearly called her Toni Morrison, but I don't think that's it.
Tony Stark.
Tony Storm. Yeah, Tony Stark. There we go. No, Tony Storm, the Australian punk chick. Pink, do you know her?
Yes.
Okay, so that is Tony Storm. Okay, I've not fucked up her name. Tony Storm comes out and she cuts a promo about like, you're not so great. You come out here and you never actually fight anyone. And then Charlotte just ignores her and walks past her each week. So that's a cute gimmick. Have like the plucky jobber face come out and be like, hey, fuck you. And you do this for a couple weeks until eventually the heel gets sufficiently annoyed that she absolutely annihilates the poor thing, right?
Right.
What I don't know if Tony Storm is a jobber. With modern WWE 50-50 booking, Tony Storm will probably it'll probably be a count-out victory or something. But either which way, it has wound up working out very, very funny because Tony Storm looks like a big, intimidating punk whenever she's in isolation. But then she comes out into the ring next to Charlotte. And for one thing, Charlotte's already a very tall woman, but she also has been coming out in high heels lately. So she looks like an absolute giant over Tony Storm. Yep. And it's like, this doesn't look like it'd be a very, this doesn't look like it'd be a very competitive matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only is Charlotte obviously way taller, it's not like, well, you can like make up some bullshit about it, like, oh, Rey Mysterio can beat Big Show because Rey's got speed and dexterity on his side, even though he doesn't because he's Rey motherfucking Mysterio. But either which way, like with this kind of situation, you can't, because Charlotte, even though Charlotte's like the biggest, tallest, strongest person on the women's roster, especially now that Nia Jax is gone, Charlotte nonetheless is very fast and very agile. So you can't really pretend that other wrestlers have a clear agility advantage or speed advantage over her.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they should do is that Charlotte commissions a match between the two of them, and then she does her longest entrance yet with a microphone, and then she goes, you know what, never mind, and then just she leaves us. She's getting counted out.
That is more like if you change that from a match to a promo, that's pretty well what this build-up has been.
But after all of these promos, doing it for a match too would just be a slap in the face to the viewers, but also Tony Storm.
Well, in the old days, if it was booked properly, they would have that, and then Tony Storm goes back and gets mad, and she talks to the whoever the authority figure is.
Yeah, not Teddy Long.
And what they have not Teddy Long, God no. And they'd have the authority figure be like, all right, fair enough, that was bullshit. Next week you wrestle again, but this time it's falls count anywhere, so she can't leave the ring, or it's a lumberjack match, or it's a battle royal, or a steel cage match, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of match where Charlotte can't just fuck off. Nowadays, what they do is Tony Storm then goes back to the back and talks to the GM and is like, hey, that was bullshit. And the GM says, actually, I thought it was awesome. Also, I kicked puppies. Come in, all the heels. Let's fuck this person up. Oh, I'm the authority. I'm the new Vince. Week in, week out, it's the same shit. 20 fucking years WWE has been trying to make Vince happen again. It's so much of the Attitude Era is like, sure, this was good at the time, but it has ruined wrestling afterwards. And like Vince has got to be one of the biggest examples of like, oh yeah, Vince McMahon was one of the greatest fucking heels in wrestling altogether, if not the greatest heel in wrestling history. Every fucking WWE storyline since has been, let's get Hunter to be the new Vince. Let's get Stephanie to be the new Vince. Let's get Sonya Deville to be the new Vince. Why?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Vince may be the best heel in the business, but what one thing that makes it so is that he can't be replicated. Like that was a thing where the stars aligned, and Vince was just
It's
like, yeah, go ahead.
I think like a big part of it was people genuinely hated Vince
Yeah,
because it was right after the Montreal screw job, and
yeah,
that's like
go ahead.
with Hunter and Stephanie when they try it, like they're kind of could shoot a little bit for that because the Marks do hate Hunter and Steph, but the Marks are only a fraction of the audience and should be only a fraction of the audience, and you should not book for them.
Yeah,
Everybody knew Vince fucked over Brett. It was in the news. Like wrestling rarely ever makes national news, but it was there. Vince fucked over Brett. Everybody knew what Vince did. Didn't matter if you were a mark, didn't matter if you were like a super fan of the business. You knew that. So you saw Vince and you're like, oh, what a fucking scumbag. But nobody, like no Joe Schmo watching wrestling every other week is going to tune in and be like, oh, yes, Triple H, I know that he is a big politica behind the scenes and has been working to get himself booked for every championship ever. And he fucked over Booker T in that one match and Chris Jericho in that other match. Oh, I hate Triple H. Clearly, this is an accurate gimmick to his real life person. I will boo him as much as possible.
yeah. That's the thing. Like if they want to replicate something like that, they would need to set up another screw job. But I don't even know who they would do that with, because like they could.
Oh, God, they did.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays it'll be a fucking work, and everybody would know it's a fucking work because they did do work. They did do a work screw job with Hunter at some point. I don't remember when, but it was almost certainly involving Punk or Bryan, because of course it was.
I think it was Bryan, because like with Punk,
Yeah,
like they could have done it with Punk, but the thing is, like, yeah, it was worked. That's the thing. Like if they want to do another screw job, they actually need to screw someone over. Like they need to rip someone before that contract goes up. Then they let them loose. And then they offer retaliation for what happens then.
And if they want people to believe it's a shoot, the guy can't come back and wrestle the next fucking week.
Yeah.
The stupidest thing in the world is so many people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, get someone who's at least a bit popular. Like, take Balor for example, who wouldn't be a big loss. Like, I like the guy, but he wouldn't be a big loss overall. Fucking take Balor. Just like wait until his contract nearly expires. Set him up with a match that he would look stupid losing, and then make him lose it. Then don't really.
I don't think even that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like the thing is, the screw job back in the day made the news. I don't think WWE could do anything that would make the news nowadays unless they not only screw Finn Balor over, but they also call him the N-word as he leaves. Maybe that can make the news.
Yeah, Vince does it personally. Like Vince. They screw Balor over, and then they show a package for Balor leaving, but it's just Vince calling him different slurs, and then they don't really renegotiate his contract. He goes to like Japan or AEW or whatever. He does stuff there, and then whatever he does, they work off of that, and then hope that he's bitter. Like, hope that he's bitter. Because if Balor is like 1% professional and doesn't talk shit about the WWE, you just fuck yourself over.
Yeah. That's exactly also the thing is like the screw job also really worked to generate controversy because Brett is a notoriously bitter guy who went and talked to all the news and journalists.
Yeah.
Like that shit would not work if you get a guy like the majority of the modern roster who'd just be like, well, them's the ropes. Off to Japan I go. Off to AEW I go. And like, again, you can't, like, so many people think that the pipe bomb was a shoot. And it's like, fuck's sakes. He came out and the camera didn't just cut away. He came out and they didn't just have the other wrestlers go out and drag him back in. He came out and did that and came back wrestling the same fucking gimmick next week. And like, okay, Pink, you would probably remember better than I do. Either of you probably remember better than I do. When Punk did the pipe bomb, did he come out to This Fire Burns or Cult of Personality?
I think he came out to This Fire Burns for the last time, and then he was gone for a week, and then he came back to Cult of Personality words.
Yeah,
Cult
again,
of Personality was indeed his return theme. He used This Fire Burns at Money in the Bank. He did not have music for the pipe bomb.
Ah.
So, So people are like, oh, yeah, this guy went out and shoot on the company and he shat all over it. And they rewarded him by, like, bringing him back with a new theme song and new merch and everything for fucking up their show.
Yep.
It's a shoot. It's a shoot, brother. It's a shoot. Man, in fucking 10 years from now, Punk is going to do a shoot interview. Well, no, Punk won't do a shoot interview, but one of the guys backstage who was there at the time will do a shoot interview where they say, oh, yeah, that shit was, we 100% faked that shit. And people are going to say that guy lied about everything forever.
And the thing is, Punk is working the mark so fucking hard, because you know what the first thing he did when he got back into wrestling just now? You know what the first thing he did was? He got AEW to make CM Punk ice cream. Because that was one of the things he brought up in the pipe bomb.
Yeah, okay. And didn't, for his first AEW promo, he came out to the ring and then sat on the floor, legs crossed?
Maybe?
Yep.
Of course it was. And isn't all of his AEW gear is just straight up rip-offs of the gear he had right after the pipe bomb?
Yes.
And AEW somehow forked out the money to get him to come out to Cult of Personality still, which I don't know how they did that.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Doesn't Nut Turner have a lot of money? I forget who the owner of AEW is.
Well, it's Tony Khan. There has to come a point where his dad says, enough, son. He doesn't need to come out to a Cult of Personality. Save the money. Get a fucking generic who gives a shit rock theme. It'll be fine. Get CFO money.
Do anything but that. It killed Pink.
That caused audible pain to Pink.
Yeah. It gave Pink 2d6 emotional damage.
Can I just say, like, a daring choice for them to pretty well bring back the SmackDown Dome entrance thing, right? It's not got the fist smashing through it, but it is pretty well the SmackDown Dome thing again. But daring choice.
It doesn't work without the fist, though.
Yeah, well, the fist didn't work either. It was just so cheesy. It was funny,
Yeah.
But they have the Dome now. But People's Titantrons no longer includes actual clips of them. It's just their name over a fucking background.
Yeah, because because that's cheaper.
What'd you call me?
A cheap whore. You heard me right.
Oh god, you know what's the dumbest thing about modern wrestling? Dumber than all the bad promos, all the bad booking, all the shitty wrestlers that get pushed over the good wrestlers. For some fucking reason, every time Roman comes out, Roman does his entrance, what they have a hologram of a big stupid Roman Reigns statue, and then it does the Superman pose or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck?
I like how I was going to suggest something stupid, and it was right, because I was going to say, Roman Reigns doesn't come out; there's just a hologram of him coming out. But that's like halfway there.
Yeah, it's very close. Yes, and it's really badly animated too.
What they should do is once he turns face again, and if he still retains the hologram gimmick, then what they should do is one of the heels hack the hologram so it's Hatsune Miku.
Oh god! Another thing I want to mention along the lines of stupidity. I know that Seth Rollins' gimmick now is supposed to be the Drip King, but is Becky Lynch also doing like the Drip Queen for the shit she's coming out dressed as now?
No, she's also the Drip King.
Oh, I see. That's how they got it. When her and Seth got married, did they have to? You are now husband and husband.
No, you are now husband and man.
Husband and the man.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. It's I don't like. Also, the thing of like they can't fucking hide nowadays that Seth and Becky are married. At the same time, Becky's not going to fucking work heel. And Seth's certainly not going to fucking work face. I don't think Seth Rollins could work face. You just naturally hate the fucker.
Yeah, he just has like his face. I don't know what he just has. He has this like permanent shit-eating grin.
I I don't have a problem with Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins has big Jared Leto energy.
Yes.
That's exactly why he can only work heel.
Yes. Like, Seth Rollins does have big Jared Leto energy, but he's not as bad as Jared Leto yet. At least when I saw him.
He's not anywhere near as bad as Jared Leto. Like, I like Seth Rollins' wrestling. I do not like Jared Leto's acting. Anyways, yeah. Man, I'm glad that they got rid of the right member of the Shield. It's very funny seeing two members of the Shield headlining opposite shows. And Dean is over on AEW, drunk and fat.
Dean is over on AEW fighting like 90-year-old fossils from Japan.
Oh god, Addy, have you seen Dean in the AEW?
I have not watched anything from AEW, so no.
Okay, well, hang on. I put in Dean Ambrose. Silly me. I have to put in John Moxley. Okay, here we go.
John just reminded me. So I don't know why, but there's been a lot of like sexy like sexy got GF Garfield in the furry community, and I blame Chris Pratt.
Anyways. Okay, hang on. Open image in new tab. There we go. That's the picture. So this is what he looks like now. He does not look anything like himself, does he?
I mean, I was going to say he doesn't look any different at all.
Yeah.
Like
there's a reason they had him always wrestle in it.
But that's about it, honestly.
He's gone bald. He's got a kind of a disgusting looking beard, and he's gotten a lot fatter and hairier.
I mean, he had the beard in WWE as well for a bit.
No, he didn't.
I remember him with a beard. Pink, am I wrong?
I'd ask Pink, but he can't help.
True.
Okay, thank you. Well, we can confirm the answer to that question, Addy, is...
Yeah. So anyway...
I think after this recording is done, Pink's going to go murder his internet router.
Yeah.
Not the internet provider. No, he's going to take the physical object of the internet router and he's going to stab it.
Yeah. Preferably when it's powered down.
Yeah, the internet router is going to, for some reason, hear the Halloween theme. Oh no, he's got tier 3 Evil Within.
But yeah, like, I feel like I remember him having the beard around like the end of his WWE run.
He may have. Yeah, I could absolutely be wrong about that. I just do find it very funny that he gave that interview where he said that he hopes Renee gets famous and successful so he can sit around and get fat. And just the inevitable retort to that of, well, you didn't wait.
Yep.
It was true. He can't wait. Anyways. Yeah, watching wrestling. The matches are good. The matches are good. And I'm glad to be watching nowadays, even if it sucks, because I do like wrestling. I like wrestling a lot. Yeah. I just wish it was better.
I tried to get back into wrestling, and I just can't at this point. I don't know.
Not with modern. I can absolutely understand that. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, they're working 2 women's feuds on the show at the same time, which is impressive considering back in the day when they worked 0. But in addition to Charlotte versus Toni Storm, they're also having this kind of bizarre 6-woman angle where it's Aaliyah, Naomi, and who's the third face? Sasha versus Natalya, Shayna Baszler, and Shotzi. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, so this is a setup for like some really good stuff where we can get like, Naomi's a very talented wrestler and she's working face, and Natalya is a very talented wrestler and she's working heel. Have them work, and the other 4 can just be there, I guess. Not to dish on Aaliyah or Shayna that badly, or even Sasha that badly. But no, it's about Sasha versus Shotzi. And Shotzi's very much the head of those 3 heels. Despite the fact that Shotzi is considerably younger, considerably more inexperienced, and a much, much worse wrestler. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, but they've been having her and Sasha wrestle a few Spot Fest matches, and Shotzi fucks up all the spots.
Nice. But I mean, look, we can't have Natalia be headlining anything. She needs to be forever stuck in the mid card because she is related
forever
to
the Fartmeister.
Yeah.
Oh man, and yeah, it's just incredible because every time it's the obvious tag team protection work, right? They go out and they have the match, and Shotzi fucking sucks. So Natty and Shayna work the match, you know? And Sasha barely works the match on the face side either. Like, it's really Naomi who's been carrying the face side, because even Sasha's got experience and Aaliyah's got energy, but not both of them are kept on the ring side as well. Oh man, modern day booking, but the matches are good. The matches are good. I have to say that every time. Like last week, I was playing Dead by Daylight with Mike, and I had to justify myself because I said I'd been watching SmackDown again for the past couple weeks, and Mike was honestly kind of interrogating me about why I would put myself through that. And I was I had to go on the defensive, okay, the matches are good. The matches are good. Everything else sucks, but the matches are good. Unless they have Nakamura in them, but, you know. And Nakamura is still Nakamura, and they've had him wrestle the same goddamn match for the last 4 weeks.
They've had Nakamura wrestle the same match for the last 4 years. More if you count his time in Japan.
Yeah, probably. So it's been Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus Los Lotharios for the last 4 weeks, and they've been booking things the way WWE Universe books rivalries. Every week, these guys go out and wrestle each other.
And randomly one of them is replaced by Dolph Ziggler, and he wins the WWE Championship.
Yes, there you go. Which I have to ask, the question, Nakamura is Intercontinental Champion, right? So clearly he should be getting booked into singles feuds. And Boogs can be there as his manager and his face minion, I guess, the Jimmy Hart to his late era Hogan, I guess. But why book the singles champion, the singles mid-card champion, against a tag team?
Because he's going to be tag champions too.
Well, they aren't even tag champs.
Nice.
Does SmackDown have tag champions? I don't think it does.
Does SmackDown have tag teams? I'm doubtful.
Oh, it has a couple. I think that the tag championships right now are just on Raw for Orton and Riddle. Which, I mean, it's a good thing because both shows don't need a fucking tag championship. That was wasting time for everybody. But especially in a modern day that has no interest in investing in a real tag team division. But either which way,
if they want to do that, then the tag team division should be on the brand that has the tag team championships, and then they should have another tertiary thing like the Hardcore Championship was that they can run on.
Well, then the trouble is no one on SmackDown gets to work tag teams. Because the brand division is fucking stupid. It just needlessly complicates things, and I can't keep track of who's on what fucking show. I keep thinking where's this guy? Oh, right, he's on Raw.
It made sense when they did it again, when they actually got talent and shit. But since they've been firing 50 talent per month. It's starting to not make sense anymore. We need John Laurinaitis to come back.
Well, every time they do it, it's just to justify roster bloat. Because the first time was because they brought over everyone from WCW and ECW, and they all needed a fucking paycheck, I guess. Yeah. They couldn't have just told half the WCW roster to go home, apparently. And nowadays, the brand split happened because we need to try and poach all the talent to make sure AEW doesn't get any. Oh, wait, shit, AEW wasn't interested in poaching talent to begin with. Fuck it. Which also, of course, now we've got a brand split running, but, there's not enough wrestlers to justify it at all. So I'm saying the same wrestlers every week.
Yeah, but we need John Laurinaitis to come back out and then initiate the Super Show once more.
I guess so, yeah. Fucking John Laurinaitis. Any future endeavors, most of the roster.
Yeah.
I heard John Morris.
He comes out and he's like, "All right, so this Survivor Series, we're going to have 14 different battle royales, and everyone who's not the winner gets fired. Good luck. And then he leaves.
Yeah. That would actually be awesome. A loser leaves town match battle royal.
Yeah, but no, not one of them. Like we have like 3 Royal Rumbles, and the 3 winners get to stay.
That would be going too far, dare I say it. That might just be you end up with a roster of 3 dudes.
But it would be funny.
How are we going to make 5 hours of weekly content plus pay-per-views with 3 dudes? I don't know.
Roman Reigns and the Usos sit around the campfire and read stories.
Yeah, guys who can fight. 3 guys who are already a stable, so they can't even have matches. Or when they have matches, they're all finger poke of doom matches.
Yeah.
Just Roman and the Usos trading the championships back and forth, spiking their statistics.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Oh, God. Yeah, there's still a lot wrong with modern WWE, and I don't think they have any intention of fixing it because their profits just keep going up and 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 up. But there's wrestling there, at least. And I'd rather watch it than AEW because I don't want to see people embracing the marks. I just don't, okay?
I mean, for me, it's not only that. Like, my thing with not watching AEW is I don't want to see the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, I don't want to see Young Bucks. I don't want to see Kenny Omega. I don't want to see the fucking Dork Order. I don't want to see, who is that, Jungle Boy? What's the one that's fucking tiny?
I don't know.
They got one wrestler now who's like barely like 5 feet, if not like he may be like 4'9" or 4'10", and it's like, shit, wasn't Ray pushing it hard enough?
Does your guy have face paint? Is he Sting's son?
Oh God, yeah, there you go, Darby Allin. Right. Is that supposed to be the angle? That he's Sting's son?
I don't know. I'm just calling him Sting's son because he hangs around Sting and also has a lot of face paint that's themed around crows, from what I can tell. So whatever, close enough.
I wouldn't doubt it. In a fucking era of wrestling where Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's son, because they also wrestle similarly.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, like, you want to talk about disappointments of the last 5 years, Jason Jordan's pretty high up there, where it's like, oh man, this guy could fucking be great and carry the company where Roman can't, and then, oh, I see. Well, Roman, back to you.
Did he do anything? Because people.
He didn't do anything, but he got injured, and I think he's pretty well had to retire at like only having wrestled 2 or 3 years. Hang on, let me look it up. Yeah, that's the yep. Hang on, I'm looking it up. Let's see, Jason Jordan. Let's see. Oh yeah. So they wrote him off for something. He had to go get a neck surgery. After that surgery, it was reported he'd be out for over a year. And he was not able to wrestle WrestleMania after that year. Yep, he's just been switched over to being a producer, so yeah, he's done.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he only got to hold the tag team championships. That sucks. Oh, man. Like, I guess there's a lot of stories like that in wrestling of guys who should have been like, oh, my God, but then they got injured, right? Because Jason Jordan's there. Who was that one in WCW in the 80s? Or it may have been Crockett in the 80s. Like Magnum something?
Magnum
PA.
Yeah, PA.
I was hoping someone else would say it so that I wouldn't fuck up and get it confused with the Tom Selleck character.
Yeah, I confused it with the Tom Selleck character.
Who is
I think
Tom
they were
Selleck?
hoping.
Magnum PI,
They were
PI, I think.
They were hoping you'd get him confused with the Tom Selleck character, which I gotta say, like, I've always heard praise for that Magnum guy, but, like, when you're just hinging on the hopes that, okay, here's what Tom Selleck used to look like back in the day. Here we go. when you're just hinging on the hopes of he'll be mistaken for a more famous character, that's not really a good sign, right?
Yeah.
And let me just see. Here's what Tom Selleck looks like now. He actually looks a lot like my grandpa. It's weird.
Maybe Tom Selleck is secretly your grandpa.
Oh, God, that would explain a lot. Anyways.
But yeah, another one like that is Tyson Kidd.
Tyson. Well, Tyson's the kind of case. Like, I adore Tyson. Everyone knows I adore Tyson. Tyson is one of those cases like Shelton Benjamin, where like the best hope he ever had was WWE wasting him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it turns out that was too high of hopes. No, he's going to get crippled by Samoa Joe. There was a certain type of wrestler, like Tyson Kidd's a lot like Shelton. Like they even have more or less the same ring gear. And they're very similar in that regard of like both wrestlers who are great mat wrestlers, great technicians, great ring psychologists, great athletic, great acrobats, can't work the fucking mic. So WWE will never do anything with them. And it's like with a lot of these cases, it's like, well, just turn them heel and have a manager work them. I could see Tyson Kidd as a heel, but I honestly could never see Shelton Benjamin as a heel. Shelton Benjamin's got too much of that, like kind of all-American good old boyness to him, right? He seems impossible to boo. Yeah, he just seems like a baby-faced babyface. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So even then with Shelton, they did try to put a manager with him as a face, and it was Mama Benjamin, and that shit did not work. Like, has there ever been really an example of face managers ever working properly? Like Ms. Elizabeth for Macho Man, but she wasn't the talker. She was really arm candy.
Yeah.
Was Jimmy Hart ever able to really pull off face managing?
No, he did face managing. I don't think it ever went as well as the heel stuff.
Because, they attached him to Hogan, of course, but again, Hogan doesn't need anybody to fucking talk for him.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of face managers. Judy Bagwell, again, like, why would the manager be the mom? But okay. Oh, when they turned Jack Swagger face because people kept cheering him despite the fact he was working heel.
Oh, yeah.
And they had Zeb Coulter be a face manager, but of course they just turned him into a fucking joke.
Yeah, and then Dario came back and he was like, you know what? Yes, I should not be in America.
Yeah.
And that was somehow the face statement. That was fucking weird. And then Swagger went to UFC, never to be seen again.
Where they'll let him smoke as much pot as he wants. He works an MMA match and he goes back and he smokes 10 blunts at the same time. They had to fucking fumigate the building. Someone opened the door to Jack Swagger's locker room and a tide of smoke blew them away.
But first they had to like cut the air so they could go and open the window.
Well, the Road Warriors manager.
I don't even remember him.
The Road Warriors had a manager?
Yeah, well, because neither of them could talk, of course. Other than going, oh, what a rush! You know, that ain't exactly a full build promo.
I mean, I was going to say Heidenreich, but that's wrong.
Well, you know, when I think of Heidenreich, I think of talking.
Yeah. Paul Ellering.
Yeah,
apparently.
What?
Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering, yes, thank you. And it wasn't the weird thing, didn't they call him Dangerous Paul Ellering? Precious. And then when Paul Heyman was Luscious Paul Ellering.
Precious, not luscious. Precious?
Like
the ring. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. His names were The Body Doc, Mr.com, Precious Paul Ellering and just Paul Ellering. Those are his ring names.
Fucking
Mr.com.
now I'm just imagining the Road Warriors being managed by Gabor Sidibe. Now, let me tell you, that's a mental image right there.
Also, in June 2016, he returned to the ring at NXT TakeOver The End as the manager of the Orders of Pain, a heel tag team known for releasing a book called Pain, and that's it. Fun gimmick in it.
Oh man, right? They were having him come out and wrestle, come out and manage some knockoff fucking Road Warriors.
Yeah, those are the authors of Pain. But us fucking dumb as the gimmick is, I appreciate that they actually released, WWE released a book just titled Pain, for it to make sense that they were called the authors of Pain because they wrote the book.
Okay.
That's dumb bullshit. When I'm like, okay, you know what, makes sense in canon. I'm fine with it.
At least it's nice to have them work the gimmick, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's Gabor Sidibe.
I see. I'm assuming they're being facetious.
I'm pretty sure that's an SNL skit.
Okay, cool. It's hard to tell these days.
It is. At that time, the joke, Gabor Sidibe had just done the movie Precious at the time, which is a very, 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 very depressing movie and a very, 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 very serious movie. So at the time, the joke was, let's get some Gabor Sidibe after this incredibly depressing movie to do the most farcical shit ever on SNL and shit. So it's like, what if Gabor Sidibe played Hitler? Man, it was the funny thing about Precious is that both of the lead actresses in that movie were both comedians, and it was an entirely dramatic movie. It was very, holy shit, I'm not sure there's ever, that one and Schindler's List are up there as the most fucking drop-dead serious movies ever. Holy shit. Anyways, yeah, pro wrestling, it leads to Black Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, we got pretty close on a couple times, especially on the indie scene. I'm not joking. From what I heard in Australia, I believe. I forget if it's Canada or Australia, but on the indie scene.
This isn't going to be Jim Neidhart coming out in a KKK hood, is it?
No. On the indie scene in one of those places in the mid 2000s, there were two guys whose entire gimmick was Nazis. Why?
I mean, well, dude, Fritz von Erich's gimmick was that he was a Nazi.
Oh.
That started one of the most legendary families in wrestling. The hilarious part was, of course, them having to entirely drop that once his kids came around and they were all faces, of course. So they can't have Fritz pretending to be a Nazi anymore. They didn't even bother to have Fritz pretending to be German anymore. So his name is Fritz von Erich. And he comes out as an obvious Texan, of course. And all of his kids are still, supposed to be the child of Nazi Fritz von Erich, and they're all Texans. I'm not sure you could have got more Texan in the 80s than Kerry von Erich.
I mean, one of them wrestled with that shoes on.
Which one was that?
I forget.
Hank, you'd know.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin, yes, that makes sense. Kevin had no shoes, and Kerry had two, one to hide the fact that he didn't have a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. The foot fetishist would have the real selection with the Von Erichs that wrestled, yeah. Oh, man. I got foot fetish on the brain last night. There was my family was watching Pulp Fiction for the first time for several of them. And my God, there's a lot of feet in that movie.
I wonder why.
Everybody knows Tarantino got the foot fetish. By now, Tarantino's just got to be open about it. But my fucking God, I am willing to bet there are probably I don't know, five named women in that movie. Off the top of my head, there's Uma Thurman, there's the taxi driver, there's Bruce Willis's girlfriend, there's the chick who robs the restaurant, and those are pretty well all the major female characters of that movie. I wasn't paying attention so much for Bruce Willis's girlfriend, but I'm willing to bet 3 out of those 4 have scenes where they're barefoot. And 2 out of those 4 have scenes where the camera is directly focused on their feet.
I mean, that's just the introduction. They walk on screen, and then it's a pan down to their feet.
Dude. Both Uma Thurman's character and the cab driver are introduced by camera shots on their feet.
I mean, that's kind of like just normal camera movement, isn't it? Like just just panning.
But the cab driver is driving a cab. Why would you be driving a cab barefoot?
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, like I understand. I can understand driving a cab barefoot because like there's people who just like basically there's people I don't know how freaking what's the word I'm looking for, like how much it still happens nowadays and stuff like that. But there used to be people who learned how to drive cars bare feet. After learning how to drive cars bare feet, they couldn't drive cars with shoes on because they didn't feel the same. So it was like an impairment, I guess. They put on themselves. So those people would.
You are putting more thought into this than Tarantino did.
Definitely. So there are people who
Tarantino was just writing the script with one hand and doing something else with the other.
Yep. But like, there are people who can only drive cars with socks on. But like you have no reason to drive bare feet unless it's like the middle of the summer and you have like flip flops on or whatever, something like that.
Oh man, yeah, oh god, it's funny because I also have been like watching bits and pieces of Dusk Till Dawn as well, because that's a good movie. It's a very Robert Rodriguez movie, but it's a very good movie. But yeah, it will never be more egregious than the fucking scene in Dusk Till Dawn where Salma Hayek pours beer or champagne or wine, I forget which, down her leg, down her foot, baby birded directly into Tarantino's mouth. Have you guys ever seen that?
Yep. Pink?
Pink, I'll let Pink stay pure. Oh, Pink has seen it, okay. Now that I think about it, yeah, Pink's probably an avid consumer of that one scene in Dusk Till Dawn and not seen the rest of the movie, but he's seen that scene plenty of times.
This is a fact.
Pink is a well-known foot fiend.
Well, not so much, dude. That's just the very end of it. That scene goes on for a hot minute, and what I'll say is, I think for heterosexual men everywhere, regardless of foot fetish, there is a good long while where it's like, oh my god, and then the foot fetish comes in. They're like, oh, okay, you've lost me. I imagine that's exactly where Pink is.
Yeah.
The scene gets that far, and then Pink hits rewind. Man, that one was a funny one because I was like, when I was a little kid, I don't know, 7 or 8. I remember so many people being like, "Oh, Salma Hayek, the hottest woman in Hollywood," and I was like, "I don't get it." And then I was, 13 or 14 years old, and I watched Dusk Till Dawn on my phone while I had it on Netflix on my phone. And I watched that, and I was like, "Oh, I get it."
And I still don't.
It makes sense.
I still don't. Salma Hayek doesn't even have a snout. You need
have a snout.
No, wait, no, Addie, you're forgetting the movie. She does later.
Salma Hayek has too many opposable thumbs.
She turns into a snake woman later in the movie.
Not my thing per se.
Infliction.
Not my thing per se, but it like that's the. Okay, let's not go.
Addie is now asking himself questions he never thought he would have to.
I'm not into snake women. Or Snake Man, for that matter, I guess. But yeah,
I was expecting a follow up to that, like a punchline, but no, that was just plainly stated, matter of factly. No, yeah. I don't like to fuck snakes, but it is hip to fuck bees, or so I hear.
I have seen a disturbing amount of people just saying that unironically. And it's no, please.
Oh, do they really like that one Darkstalkers character?
Probably. I don't know, cause like once again, I know that there's a community of people who unironically get horny for bees. I have not visited it because I don't fucking need to. Like, just knowing that it exists is enough psychic damage that I don't need to see it. I don't need to confirm for myself. But there is a Reddit community of people who actually want to fuck bees, like for real.
I've gone so far that I no longer take psychic damage and find much of this stuff very amusing.
I mean, yeah. Like, on one hand, I take psychic damage in that I guess like my view of the world just freaking deepens in being like bad. But like otherwise, like I'm at the point where people are like, "Hey, fetish," and unless it's something like that would be straight up illegal, I'm just like, eh.
I have gazed into the abyss and I laughed at it. Oh, man. All right. Well, we should probably wrap things up sometime soon. I've got to do some shit around here. I got to help go build a fence and then set up some.
I did remember the one last thing I did. So I've been platinuming Sonic Forces.
Oh! Which one's that? Oh, is that the one where you make the OC?
Yes.
Okay. I actually watched what happened on that the other night.
I didn't because I can figure it out. Like, I played the game, I can figure it out.
My understanding was it basically boils down to they had a production meeting together and they decided, let's try and bring the modern Sonic Adventures Sonic 2006 crowd together with classic Sonic, and apparently it didn't work.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The Sonic Adventure 2 Sonic 06 crowd part of the game works. And then the classic Sonic should not fucking exist in the game because they didn't give enough of a shit to make him not feel like ass. I mean, normal, like Sonic, like here's the thing. So Sonic, all versions of Sonic in the game feel like just like actual boulders. Like it's you're controlling big bags of rocks, more or less, and that works for Boost Sonic because the Boost gameplay, like the Boost gameplay is designed in a way that accommodates people being rocks. Because that's the entire thing of the boost. Like, Sonic goes so fast that he just like cuts through metal. He is made of rocks.
Yeah.
He's the rough density of like the fucking the Mount Rushmore. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Classic Sonic actually, like, Classic Sonic tries to go for like actual precision platforming and stuff sometimes, and like for like speed, and it just does not work because he just like the way Classic Sonic handles in Forces is very touch and go, but also like requiring a lot of commitment. I guess like he simultaneously turns on a dime and slides all over the place, like he's on ice, simultaneously. And that's the thing, like. They have like speedrun challenges because like a part of getting a platinum is getting all of the OC outfits and stuff like that. And to get outfits, or to get outfit pieces, you have to do challenges. So some of those are speedrun all of the levels. And speedrunning the classic Sonic levels is pain because like they tried to make interesting platforming and stuff like that, but it just doesn't work because the way from what I understand, Sonic Forces, its like engine is a modified version of Lost World's engine, which was a modified version of Generations' engine. And Generations already felt bad. So modify Generations to be Super Mario Galaxy, and then modify it back so it's not Super Mario Galaxy anymore. And that's Force's engine.
Hey.
So yeah. But aside from that, I've actually been having fun. Weirdly enough. Like it's
all right.
Yeah. Like the missions, they have SOS missions where you have to help out other people's OCs to do something or other. Like they explained this once at the start of the game, but I forgot the explanations because there's three different kinds of SOS missions, and I just tend to not do them because I don't really care. Like I'll need to do it for the completion, but like I'll just try my best to do it with what knowledge I have, because like bloody hell, it's that those aren't great. The classic Sonic missions, I could have done without them. Like there's too much classic Sonic, and for basically no reason other than, well, Mania was releasing around the same time, and we needed to shove Mania Sonic into here now too. That's pretty much it.
Right, rather than letting the guys who are actually handling the classic Sonic and still give a shit about classic Sonic handle classic Sonic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like literally, the ending of Sonic Mania. I don't know if it's the like proper, if you get all of the Chaos Emeralds and ending yet, because I haven't done it because like I just didn't like Mania honestly. But freaking the ending I got is just Sonic getting sucked up into like Eggman uses the world. I'm not even joking. Eggman uses the world, which causes classic Sonic to go into Sonic Forces. That's the ending of Sonic Mania, or at least as far as I know.
All right.
Yeah, and there's just a shit ton of continuity errors with the story and stuff like that. I just don't pay attention for the most part. Like if the writers didn't care, then why should I? Because like, Generations was supposed to be like, okay, it's a one-off where Sonic meets his old self where he was young, and they go on an adventure together, trying to save all of his friends throughout the ages and stuff like that. And it worked for there. But Generations is canon to Forces. But so is everything else. So like Sonic 06 happened because Blaze, or not Blaze, because Silver is here, but Blaze is dead. Because Blaze died in 06. Freaking the Chaotix are here. They never show up in anything. They don't amount to anything. Why are they here? but they are here. Like the only people from the extended Sonic video game universe that they haven't that aren't in this game are the people from Freeriders or like Riders overall, like Jet.
Oh God.
Yeah, Sonic doesn't have enough rivals. So one of his rivals in the Riders series, which is just Sonic like F-Zero more or less, from what I understand, but with skateboards. But his rival in those games is Jet the Hawk. Because why not?
Okay.
Anyway, Forces. It's gotten to a point where I'm actually kind of wishing there were more levels, because I keep going through the same like 5 levels, because it's like there's like I don't know, there's 25 or so levels, I want to say, overall. That's the length of the story. It's actually pretty short. And then I want to say what feels like 15 of those are classic Sonic levels. It's probably not, but it feels like that to me. 15 of those are classic Sonic levels. No, it wouldn't be, because there's only 25. So it's like 10 of those are classic Sonic levels, 10 of those are normal Sonic levels, and there's 5 your OC levels. But then some of the Sonic levels are also shared with your OC. So then, yeah, it's a thing of like, I get what they were trying to go for. It's just that like, if they didn't want to give enough of a shit to actually make classic Sonic handle not like ass, then they should have just got him. Honestly, it would be a better game.
It's my understanding was that the game had started out with a much more ambitious idea, but it got like something like, oh fuck it got pushed for like some anniversary or something, so they had to cut a lot of the ideas.
Yeah, Sonic 06 all over again, like I said.
Yeah.
Like Sonic 06 released on like the 5th or the 10th anniversary of Sonic. So they were like, oh well, we can't wait another like 2 years for you to actually finish the game so it's actually playable. No, push it out now when the loading times are like 30 minutes and the game is like half finished, and you can glitch the game just by using one of the abilities, like just the basic abilities. Because why not? The best part of Sonic 06 to me is still that they showed up for a demo at E3, and then they shipped a version of the game that was earlier than the demo shown up at E3. I don't know how, but it happened. But yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic for Sonic Rangers. I think that's the new one. Like on one hand, with shit like forces and stuff like that. It seems like they're trying, or at least with the IP, even if it falls on its ass because they don't know what to do anymore. Like it seems like they're trying to make at least the gameplay not suck ass for the boost part. But then they're also, from what I understand, trying to go like open world, and the wisps may stick around, and both of those are bad decisions. I mean, when was the last time you went to open world Sonic? Hell yeah. Sonic can barely work in the confines of his stages. Like open world Sonic is like it kind of makes sense, I guess. Like it can work because they tried with
Well,
Unleashed. Yeah, go ahead.
what I'll say is, I think it could work on modern platforms with SSDs as long as the appeal is Sonic's so fucking fast, he can cover so much of the world is so amount of big, and Sonic can cover so much of it so fast, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And like I think that would be one of those rare cases where there would actually be a deliberate appeal of this is a big empty open world, so you have plenty of space for Sonic to just go nuts and run around.
Yeah. I wish they showed off more of Rangers just so we could see like what they're going for, because like the name Rangers seems like, for one, it could be a continuation of Forces, which is a weird decision, but whatever. It could also try to be one of the like they could try to finally finish the storybook trilogy that they wanted to do in the mid 2000s. Like I don't.
What was that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Was that the one with the rings and the Black Knight and all that?
Yeah, there was supposed to be 3 games, but they only did 2 because they didn't sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Sonic exists. We don't know for how long, but Sonic exists for now.
Ideally, not much longer.
Imagine if Sega paid Arc Sys to make a Sonic the Fighters 2.
I'm saying that is pure Addy material and no one else.
No, I didn't like the first. Well, I didn't play the first one, but I didn't like the cast.
Well, no, I ain't talking about Sonic the Fighters in specific, but I mean specifically Arc Sys making a Sonic game is specifically you material and maybe like I don't know Wooly from Super Best Friends.
I mean, I went with Arc Sys because they seem to be in the thing of getting a lot of like licensed games right now.
I say like, I mean, Guilty Gear is still very much their own thing, and who knows what Team Blue is doing right now, because evidently they're not working on Dungeon Fighter for some reason.
Well, no, the Dungeon Fighter has its own team. Oh no, A-Ting is doing Dungeon Fighter. Team Blue was doing the Blaze Blue game, the Blaze Blue Gacha game. That's getting shut down in like 2 months.
Who's doing DBZ? Or did DBZ?
I think that might have been Team Red, but I forget.
I think it was, yeah. So one has to wonder if Team Red has now switched focus for most of the team to Dragon Ball, and they've just got some small part of the team working on the Strive DLCs.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so like they would probably have Dragon Ball Fighters 2. The Team Blue, who knows what the fuck they want to do with Blaze Blue right now? Because it's like it's simultaneously. That's not a lie.
Everything but a fighting game.
Yeah. You look forward to the Ragnar the Blood Edge freaking Vocaloid game where he has to sing.
You know that it wouldn't be Ragnar.
Yeah, it would be Platinum.
Platinum, Rachel, and Noel, but for some reason Noel is now younger.
Yeah. There's also like
they're hoping that with her flatness she'll pass for being a teenager.
There's also a bonus mission where it's Jin's tied down Ragnar, and he's singing a ballad to Ragnar.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
Is there any series that is more about I want to fuck my brother than Blaze Blue?
I mean, the thing is, I don't know if I don't understand the characterization of those two, because on one hand, in the actual like story parts that I have seen, which was the last 2 games, it didn't seem like Jin actually wanted to fuck his brother. At the same time, they had the joke stories that weren't canon from what I understand, and in those he just straight up says, "I want to fuck my brother." So I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's one of those things like with Japanese humor. It's so strange to tell. Like I don't remember if it either started off that people were just joking about Blaze Blue 1. Oh, Jin wants to nail Ragna, or if it like honestly like Arxis themselves were like, ha ha, he wants to sleep with his brother. Like, I don't know who started it. Honestly, I could believe either. But yes, it's definitely always been a joke about how Jin is obsessed with Ragna in the story. So in the joke material on the side, we turn it into Jin wants to fuck Ragna.
Yeah, because like the thing is like the Jin's obsession with Ragna is just basic shonen shit. Like it's just the very generic. Oh, I just hate this person so much I can't stop thinking about them because they fuel my undying hatred. Like it's a very basic trope.
And only Blaze Blue has the balls to just out and out say, which means I want to have sex with him.
Yep. But yeah, so like, because of like Dragon Ball and freaking and Dungeon Fighter, I just assumed that Arxis would probably be the go to like here make a licensed game right now, make a licensed game company right now.
I mean, if they want a fighting game, but
yeah. I mean, like the thing is, like, I suppose they could pass it off to the Ryoga Gotoku studio, but I don't know if they do a good job.
I mean, right now the material they've got some non-in-house Sega developer working on for Sonic is that almost certainly the next project Crave Assembly's got coming out right now is going to be a crossover first-person shooter between all the properties. I don't know how Sonic's going to work in a first-person shooter, but he's going to cap some motherfuckers.
I mean, that's not out of like, look, Shadow the Hedgehog happened.
Yeah.
And that's all I need to say. Like, the fucking like Sonic the Hedgehog with an Uzi is not a new development. I mean, okay, Sonic the Hedgehog with an Uzi is, but Sonic the Hedgehog and an Uzi in the same scene is not.
That I would commend the balls though if they were just like, okay, no, we won't have Sonic in this, but one of the playable characters is Shadow.
Yeah.
Because like the other Sega properties they can bring in would look extra goofy next to Shadow. Like, oh yeah, we got Kiryu, we got I don't know, fucking Attila the Hun,
a base,
the
Daytona.
We got the Daytona. Yes, exactly. We got who's the dude from? Is Shenmue? Shenmue's not still a Sega property.
Akira.
Akira, yes, Akira from Virtua Fighter. Like, who else can we throw? A lot of the roster, honestly, would just be Japan Man.
Joker.
Oh, you're right. But Persona 6 may be announced by then, honestly.
We'll see.
Oh, God, speaking of Arxis doing licensed games, fucking where is Persona 5 Arena?
It's in the vault next to the Wu-Tang album.
Like, it's a thing that we always have to talk about with modern corporations, because nowadays corporations are just so risk-averse. But, like, fuck's sakes, you're leaving money on the table. Like, Persona is at an all-time high, and people love the Persona sidecast, so offer them a game where they can actually play as the sidecast. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's always the thing with fighting games. If you want to make them successful with, people who aren't into fighting games, is like the roster's got to be there, and it's got to be characters that it's like, oh, I love Junpei. I want to play the Junpeis all the time, forever.
Yeah.
I buy the game for Junpei. If someone buys a game for Junpei from Persona 3, you should not trust them. Oh man!
I will buy the game for freaking I'm forgetting his name. Oh, what's his name? Give me 1 sec. I'm looking this up.
Yeah, evidently, he was so important you couldn't remember his name.
But yeah, because he's in Persona 3, but I haven't played Persona 3.
Oh, okay. Which one are you looking for?
Koromaru.
Koromaru, yes, the dog. Sadly, you cannot play directly as Koromaru, but you can play as him and the kid are a combo character. Yeah.
But yeah, give me Koromaru as a separate character in Persona 6 Arena. He's the Persona 3
Damn it.
representative. He has Thanatos.
Just give me a Persona Arena game at all, even if the roster is 3 dudes. Something so that we can have something to start off of and then expand outwards.
They just put out Persona Arena. There's 3 character slots. All of them are Kung Fu Man.
Damn it, Mugen, fooled me again.
I just love the idea of Atlas releasing a Persona Arena just in general for actual like actual marketplaces and shit, and it's just fucking Mugen.
I mean, dude, there's gotta be several fighting games on Steam that are just discreetly running on the Mugen engine. You know that.
True.
All right, we should probably wrap it up. I've got to be helping with some shit around the house, so let's just go ahead and say, Addy,
Bye.
say bye. Oh, we can call that a podcast.
All right,
Whoa.
I'll stop the recording.